Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out here to look. Go ahead and take a moment to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, y'all. Today we are back with another, of course, interesting episode. We are going to be dealing with Black women. Yes, y'all. The most... Excuse me, y'all. It's funny to me, y'all. Okay, but we are going to be dealing with Black women are the most dedicated. All right, workers, y'all. Black women are the most dedicated workers, y'all. Man, you don't know what you got until you get to a Black woman who's ready to work for you, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. Boy, you know. Now, some people, y'all might think Black women are lazy. Y'all might have heard these different things here and there. But I'm here to tell y'all, Black women are the most dedicated employees, okay? They are the most dedicated employees. And we'll get into what I mean in a bit. But before we get going, shout out to all the people who come through and give me views on a regular basis that make up the fam here. Appreciate y'all big time. Appreciate y'all big time. Shout out to the people who leave comments after the stream. Yo, appreciate y'all. Y'all definitely help move that algorithm. Shout out to each and every one of y'all. Shout out to the people, okay, who who hype me up every chance they get. And I'm gonna say, y'all, you got to at least say one for me. I mean, everybody should give me at least one a week, but I mean, you should be hyping me up every day, just on the real, okay? Just on the real. And shout out to everybody who hits that like button, y'all. Y'all know that is a great thing to do. You know, it's a great help, and and you never can do it too much. And y'all, if you catch something later, you catch it on replay, gang, man, still do the same thing, man. You do the same thing, okay? Whenever you get to it, that's the time to do it. Real talk, y'all. Whenever you get to it, that's the time to do it. So shout out to each and all of y'all, and shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, the people who drop a little something over here at the Roger Report Live. Can't thank y'all enough. So shout out to Usual Business. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to Usual Business. Glad to have you as a sponsor of the stream, my brother. Been rocking with you for a good while. Appreciate you big time. And that's real talk. So shout out to Usual Business. He is the sponsor of today's stream. And let me give a couple of shout outs to some of the first people to check in this morning, because it's always great to see that when you get started that you got people rocking with you right at the beginning. But y'all know how it goes. There can only be one. So shout out to my main man. I'm listening is in the building. He is the Highlander of today's stream. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. We also got my main man, Trail Billy, coming in right behind him, representing as he always does. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hail Hydra. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. We got Floyd Thompson coming through right behind. Yay. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. We got the RX in the building. Glad to see you. Tunnel Runner is in the house. What's good, my brother? What's good? Superstar Jay Quick is at the cool table. Glad to have you. Afro Merchant is in the building. Good to see you. Inspired Truth just pulled up and see at the cool table. Glad to have you as well. Man, y'all, I hope y'all all had a wonderful weekend. I hope y'all all had a wonderful weekend. It's been good, man. It's been good. And today we're going to get off to a good, and you know what? This is probably a good show for a Monday. This probably is a good show for a Monday, because no matter how things went for you, okay, you can see there's always somebody who had a worse day than you did, okay? There's always somebody who had a worse day than you had, and this is kind of crazy, because these days could have definitely been avoided, okay? And they could have been avoided. Now, first of all, I want to say, let's say shout out to this young black lady who, against the belief of her people, they ain't think she had it, y'all. Now, rarely am I going to make fun of a kid or something like that, y'all. But I think in this particular situation is kind of okay to laugh about this one. Shout out to this young lady, who obviously she let her people know what's up. Okay, she let her people know what's up. Look. When it comes to this taste test and stuff, okay. look. I'm a Coke fan, I guess. And I'm such a Coke fan because I don't mess with them other drinks, man. I don't mess with them other ones. I mean, this young lady, she showed him, man. Real talk. What was that? Like a 6-pack? She bust open a 6-pack on him. She let him know what was going down. Look, man, I know my Coke because that's what I'm with. Okay, that's what I rock with. Okay. This a Coke right here. Okay. Okay, y'all trying to be slick. Y'all got the Diet Coke. Y'all thought y'all was gonna fool a sister. Cause you got that Diet Coke, thinking I ain't gonna know. Oh, y'all thought I wasn't gonna know. Okay. Y'all must have had some coke thinking that I won't go back and tell you which one was the coke. That's what y'all must be on coke. Yeah. All right. Okay. Shout out to my main man, True Stuff. He say, I watched that first video and I was with her until I realized she was talking to a cop the whole time. Well, you know what? They never revealed to us what mama do, okay? Well, they didn't reveal to us what mama could have been one of them. Mama could have been one of them. Because she was definitely playing detective. She was trying to let the cops know how to do the thing. Shout out to Trail Billy. He say down south, we call everything coke. Well, I guess so, y'all. And you know what, man? When I saw this, y'all, I was busted up, man. The fact that she got Sprite in that boy, y'all, she somehow tasted that fresh lemon lime flavor Sprite. And she already had the Sprite, and then she got that Mountain Dew. I was like, how'd she get that Mountain Dew out of that? Okay. But I am gonna say, as funny as that was, y'all, as funny as that was, I think y'all should be able to see that the gene is in her, y'all. She got it, man. Like the gift, she already had the gift. See, black women had this gift where, somehow reality bends when they view it or experience it. They somehow can be in reality, and no matter what, man, because she had already set in her mind that she could do this thing, she can taste this thing, man. Reality started bending for her mentally, y'all. Y'all didn't see that, did y'all? I don't know if y'all saw the lights or the sparkles. Sometimes, the cameras can't quite pick it up, but it showed you how black women can start to be in reality, like from a mental perspective. Like she tasted lemon lime, y'all. She tasted Sprite. Okay. Now, if she would have said some other colas of some kind, I don't know, maybe a root beer or something. I don't know, man. Somehow she got Sprite and she got Mountain Dew, man. They don't taste nothing like each other. They don't taste nothing like each other, okay? But, it's funny and it's a joke, y'all. But I just thought it was a perfect little clip to run with these two stories because the level of accountability just ain't there, man. Now, she's just a girl. She's just a girl. That's what it looked like to me. I don't even think she's an adult, but look like she's just a girl, but it's already deeply implanted in her that reality is supposed to be in for me when I make a move, okay? Even though it's pop. It's pop today, okay? It's soda today. I know a lot of people across the country call it soda. It's soda today. But one day, this same young lady, it might be a parade, okay? One day, with this same young lady, it might be a gas station, okay? One day, it might be something a lot more serious with a much bigger outcome, a much more impactful outcomes. It could be somebody's life or death that's at stake, and this is the person available to help you. Lord have mercy, y'all. Can y'all imagine that young woman somewhere years down the road, put us 7-8 years down the road, and this the person supposed to save your life, okay? This the person you need so your life can be saved, you know? Shout out to Afro Merchant. He say soda today, cashier tomorrow. And you know, that's how the game go. That's how the game goes. Yeah, they something right now, but they're gonna be something else later. Y'all, now, whoo, y'all, what is going on with these young women? Okay. Because, you know, there's a lot of people who just don't believe for some reason. You know, and I tell y'all, you know, if people start paying attention to information a little bit more than they start paying attention to presentation, you could pick some of this stuff up. And I know, you know, a lot of folks talk about the relationship aspects, but black women are black women, and they're being black women in all kinds of ways. And a lot of times it ain't got nothing to do with a relationship context. You are getting the same thing. Y'all, let's look at the young lady who she had to go to work. She told y'all she had to go to work. Y'all, first of all, ain't these some of the most dedicated employees y'all ever seen? When the last time you saw an employee as dedicated as these two, y'all? And y'all, you got to look at this and say, what is going on in these women's mind? What is going on in these women's mind? These women, the ideal of them working, and I know what it is. I know what it is. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the ideal of them working for that white man. That is of the utmost importance. The dedication, okay, that's involved in these two clips. I don't want to see, it's a lot going on in these clips, and people can look at it a lot of different ways. I just don't want nobody to miss what may not be as obvious to some people, the dedication of these employees. Okay. Y'all want to know why black women can't help black men, you know, better than what they do? Because we ain't figured out how to get this level of dedication, man. This level of dedication is crazy. Okay. The first young lady, okay, you can't tell her she can't go to work. I mean, what was going on, y'all? She pulled up at a place, they're doing a parade. They said that, you know, notifications had went out. This was not going to be a good place to park, because if you stay parked right here, you're going to be trapped in for a while. Now, you know, people knew what was going on. You're going to be trapped in for a while. Now, they say some gentleman, okay, some gentleman tried to be a help. He said, hey, my girlfriend. Well, he didn't technically say who. He just said my girl. Yeah, I think they said my girl got to get out of here. I don't know if he said girlfriend or girl, but my girl gonna have to get up out of here. Okay, is there something we could do? And they was like, no, at first we ain't really nothing we could do. Matter of fact, look, I'm gonna help you out, brother. I'm gonna help you out. Since you came through, you're being so polite, you're being so cool about it. I'm gonna help you out where I can help. So this is what we do, man. Go and get her right now, and I'm gonna get her an escort, and we gonna get her up out of here so she ain't stuck behind all this stuff. Now y'all know what happened, right? it was off camera, but we know what happened. Okay. The brother went back. He told his sister. He said, look. Hey, look, I got somebody who about to hook us up. Okay. Look, the road closed. You know, we saw the sign. We didn't care though. We saw the signs. We didn't care. You know, what we should have did was taken our car. Okay. Or let's say it's her car. We don't know who car it is. We should have took the car, parked it at a different location last night. So when the road was closed this morning, it'll already be past the parade and we'd be good. That's what we should have did. But no. We don't care about other people's problems. We ain't doing that. Yeah, other people may have to wait for that parade, but we ain't got to wait for that parade. You know. You know, he might have been supportive of her. Cause I get what that black woman said, y'all. I figured out what that black woman said. Okay. Look, I'm not one of you peasants, okay? I'm gonna leave when I'm ready to leave. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, you peasants can think about parades and blockades and things like that, but not me. I am a queen, and people, the that sea of people will part for me as the waters did Moses, okay? It will part for me. You know? Can y'all imagine being the guy? You go outside, you get your girl to hook up. He come back in and tell her, hey, I got the hookup for you. I got somebody who's going to escort you, but you got to come on. He said he got about 3 or 4 minutes. He can escort you around all this. And y'all know what probably happened? Well, I'm not ready to go yet. Okay? Well, he just going to have to wait. I'm going to need me another 40 minutes or so. I got to get into the shower and do this, that, and that. Look, my hair and my makeup ain't done. Okay? He can wait. Okay? If he can escort me in 3 minutes, he can escort me in 3 hours. He can wait. But baby, he just said he can hook me up, but I got to do it fast. Who told you? And one of the officers outside said, we got to do this fast. He will wait. Do you understand me? Okay, baby, the man said we got about 3 minutes. Tyrone, shut it down. Don't you say another word. I ain't going to keep talking to you about this. Baby, I'm just trying to help. Shut it down, Tyrone. Okay? Go in the room. Why don't you go and get back on your little game? You play your game too much. Why don't you get back on your little game and stay out of the way? Let grown folks handle stuff. Okay, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry. Tyrone went back and got on Call of Duty where it's safe. Tyrone say, let me get on Call of Duty and start shooting at people and start getting shot at where it's a lot safer, okay? I need to go somewhere where they're trying to kill me virtually. Because it ain't safe in the living room right now. It ain't safe, okay? I can't keep arguing with this woman. It's not safe right now. Let me go where it's safe. And y'all, here she come. The officer tell her, nice and easy. Look, sorry for your inconvenience, but the road's closed. Can't do nothing with it. Y'all, she said, I gotta go to work. Okay. And y'all know how y'all felt? Because y'all was sitting there looking and just like I was looking at, okay, what's this? When the officer easily explained to her that you just can't go to work this way today. This ain't going to work for you. She said, well, I work in Virginia. Now, I don't know how close to Virginia she is or how far from Virginia she is, but she said, look, bro, it's okay. I got to go through here. The man clearly said you cannot go this way. She gets out the car, takes the tape down to let the officer know, hey, look, I'm going this way. You can't go this way. No, I'm going this way. All right. I don't know what was going on with the officer uniform that she couldn't recognize what he was doing. I mean, he had the body cam going. Whew, what are black women gonna do, y'all? What are black women gonna do with all this body cam footage that's getting compiled on them, man? What are they gonna do? They're gonna be in trouble in a little while. What they gonna do, man? Man, this body cam. I mean, he had the body cam going. She said she had to go to work. And y'all, then we get the second young lady. Okay. She already at work. Okay, look. I understand it. You just met the guy who was at work. You don't like the guy who was at work. He's a manager. He already heard how bad you can be. He don't even want to deal with it. All right. But he a manager though. He a manager from a different store. So a manager from a different store, yeah, I get it. I get it. He'll just take it on himself. Why? Because he's had to do that in the past, I'm sure. See, if you work at a gas station, then you're a manager from a different store or a convenience store, whatever this is. But when you come from a different store, I can understand you just take it on, okay? Because there's been times where somebody didn't come in when they was supposed to. Somebody called off at the last second. You being the manager, y'all know how I go as a manager. You got to stay there and handle it. So it ain't like a manager ain't got the experience of handling a location by themselves. They've done it plenty of times, I'm sure. This particular case, this young man, he probably has already handled a few times where people didn't come in. He had to handle the store by himself. So him saying, hey, you can just go and leave. I mean, I ain't tripping. I already heard bad stuff about you from the other managers. I see you playing with a guy's ID. The man just trying to buy some squares. That's all he trying to do is buy squares. She want to put him through extra. You know, he said regular done left. And I'm going to say this. Yeah, he could be totally lying, but at the end of the day, why would he lie to the police officers as if her job performance matters to them? And then on top of that, we see what she's doing in the video. Do we have to care whether he's telling the truth or not? Because no. We got a young fool. Well, I ain't gonna call her a fool. Bible said don't call nobody a fool. Okay, so I ain't gonna call her a fool. We got a young knucklehead. I'm gonna say that. We got a young knucklehead. Now, I'm gonna say, y'all, she definitely is acting pretty slow. Now, I'm not saying she's medically slow, y'all. I'm not saying there's no indication to me that she's medically slow, but she a slow one, okay? She not medically slow, but she definitely slow. Number one, y'all, she only been working there about 2 weeks. She only been working there about 2 weeks. All right? So she don't want to listen to what the young man got to say. If you only been working somewhere for 2 weeks, ain't you supposed to be about listening to everybody? Ain't that a period of time where if you do anything wrong, you just be like, you know, Michael told me to do it. You know? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Michael told me to do it. You only 2 weeks in. You can get away with anything just about in 2 weeks if you just blame it on whoever told you. You know, somebody might say, don't listen to Michael. He's not a manager. You might hear something like that. Okay. You listen to what we tell you, you know, but when you only there for 2 weeks, that's your time to get away with stuff. I'm not saying we should be wanting to get away with stuff, but I'm just saying, man, ain't that the time to blame random people? Well, Michael told me to do it. That's why I did it that way. And then they say, well, Mike ain't your manager. Don't listen to what Michael say. And that's cool, but you're not gonna get in trouble. You only been there 2 weeks. You know? So I don't know what dude was telling her. Okay, I don't know what dude was telling her, but why she just didn't do what dude say. Dude is a manager. Now I started to peep game. She say, you know, I gotta talk to Don first, y'all. I got to talk to Don first. Interesting. She had to talk to Don first because whatever he say don't mean nothing. Okay. I mean, she said he kept getting in front of her when she was trying to handle her business, but the guy is saying she playing with the customer. So what do I believe? I do believe he would cut her off while she's playing with customers so he can go and make the sale and the customer could leave because he says she already lost 4 people and one of them was a regular. So she ain't helping the store make no money. If you a manager and you watching somebody help the store lose money, should you step in? I mean, you tell me, should you step in? You're literally watching a young lady have money leave the store. Should you step in? Well, if you're a manager, of course you should. Of course you should. Because that don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense. But here we go. So, y'all, what do we have in common? Okay. And now, what I was peeping, I don't know if y'all peeped it. You got sisters that did not want to take male authority. Yeah, that's what I saw. Sisters that do not want to listen to men at all. Now, somebody may say, well, Roger, how can you say this? Okay, you driving a car, you trying to get out the parade. The male authority figure told you, don't do that. Now, y'all got to understand, this is not a love type situation. This is not a lusting type situation. This is a white man telling her to do something she don't want to do. Okay? You know, it's a conflict of interest because she's trying to get to work. That white man that pay her check, he say be at work. So that's the white man she's already connected with that white man. That's what y'all got to understand. She's already connected with that white man. That white man said be at work at 3:00. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm gonna make it early in the day because this is a parade. This probably was early in the day. That white man said be at work at 9 a.m. Okay, but there's a parade going on. All right, she ignored all that. You know, well, maybe it was afternoon shift. Who knows? Because the parade is already going, so maybe it was an afternoon shift. But that white man already programmed her, and she said, "I'm gonna do what that white man telling me to do. I'm going to work. I don't care what y'all talking about. I gotta go to work. I'm gonna do look, I would normally listen to you, but I gotta go to work. A white man has already instructed me. So I would love to listen to you, but I already have my instructions. I got to go to work. And whatever you say need to be helping me get to work. Okay. Here's what it is. All right. So you know what I'm gonna do? Since you ain't really understanding what I'm telling you, I'm just gonna go through the crowd. I ain't gonna hurt nobody. I just gotta get to work. Now, I understand we supposed to look at women as intelligent people and all that good stuff, y'all. She got a license to drive a car. Shout out to Afro Merch. She gonna get to work, as Afro Merchant says, by any means necessary. Oh, she getting to work, man. You can't tell her. You can't tell her she ain't doing what she got to do. She got to be there, man. She ain't got time to play with you. She ain't got time to play by any means necessary. She getting to work. What you not gonna do is tell her she ain't going to work, man. That's what you not gonna do. And did y'all see how long she held on to that thought of I'm going to work? I mean, she done took the car out there into the crowd. Okay. Now I will say this. I will say that it did not seem like she's trying to purposely injure anybody or hurt anybody. She just wanted to get through so she can get to the next street and get away from there. I will give her that much credit. I will give her that much credit. It seems like she truly didn't want to hurt anybody. And when the fire department started banging on the car, she slowed down. She came to a stop or whatever. She wasn't trying to hurt the people. But she wasn't trying to let them people stop her from getting to work. So she clearly saw there was too much stuff there for her to keep going before this turns disastrous. And what did she look to do, man? Well, can you call my mother? My mother's right there. Okay? Can you call my mother? She right there. Now, I don't know what y'all peeped, but I'm going to tell you what I peeped. I just say, okay, this is a woman who she don't want to listen to any male authority at this particular point. She already had the first white man already told her what to do. So she was just on what the first white man said, because it was white men trying to stop her. Okay, it was white men trying to stop, but that first white man that pay her check, he the man. Okay, and she couldn't deal with, white men fighting amongst each other. She got to complete one assignment at a time. So she had to do what that first white man said, and she got to get to work. And she got to go to Virginia, which I'm going to assume is a good little distance away based on the conversation. She had to do what that first white man said. She didn't want to disrespect those other white men, but she got to do what that first white man said, okay? Okay. Now I'm gonna say shout out to Elder Blood. Hey, Elder Blood, just listen to what's going on, brother. We got these super dedicated women. They was dedicated to their job. Now, you can say a lot of stuff, and Elder Blood, you be saying some very important stuff. Okay. But let's keep it real, bro. These were two very dedicated employees. Okay. I'm pulling the receipts, man, on this dedication to work. I'm pulling the receipts. These women were super dedicated to work. Now, one officer measured it as 25 people. The other one said 16, 15 people. Yeah, it was interesting to me that he went down, but 16, 15 people you almost hit. So anywhere between 15 to 25 people was in jeopardy because she had to go to work. All right. And she was not going to let that white man down. And then she said, well, all right, can you call my mama? She right there. Now, y'all, did y'all see her really have the thought process that my mama can make this go away? Did you see that thought process? My mama can make this go away. She said, call my mom. What is that going to do? Your car finna get impounded because you done ran it in the crowd. Your car getting impounded. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no call my mama like she gonna be able to come get the car or something. No, that car gone, man. It's part of the crowd. If you'd have walked through there, you might have been okay. They might have let you slide by walking through. I don't know. You might have let you slide walking through. But the car part of the crowd. The car getting impounded. What mama gonna do at this point? All right. So I guess she expected mama to come down there and get him a stern talking to, and they were just gonna let her go. Why? Because she kept telling them, even after she's under arrest, that she got to go to work. She never truly accepted that she not gonna make it to work. Not today, you ain't gonna make it to work. Now you may make it to work another day, but you ain't getting there today. You going to jail. I don't know what y'all know about jail, but usually, if you got to go to work and you go to jail, you ain't gonna make it to work, okay? Not on that day. That's how that usually go, okay? That's how that usually go. Once you got to go to work on the same day that you got to go to jail, you ain't gonna make it to work. That's how it go, y'all. That ain't what type of party is about to be, okay? Well, let me just go to jail real quick before I go to work. Let me knock this jail out the way so I can get to work later. That ain't usually how it's gonna roll. Yeah, I know I gotta go to work today and I gotta go to jail, so I'm just gonna go to jail early so I can be ready for work later. No. That's some wishful thinking right there. That's some wishful thinking. So y'all, I wanted y'all to know how crazy she is, because look how long she was holding on to, I'm going to work. Now, that one officer finally said it. I don't think she's going to make it to work. It took a while, but he finally said it. Something I knew right at the beginning. As soon as she took that, as soon as she took What you call it? When they tape off the stuff. As soon as she took that tape off off that coin, off that light, I knew she was going to jail. I knew. Well, I ain't gonna say I knew. I was under the suspicion she was going to jail because I was looking at, okay, this a black woman. How far are they gonna let her go with this? That was my thing. How far are they gonna let her go? Because once you snatch that tape down, there's trouble right there. Now if she hadn't barreled a car out there into the crowd, I think she still might have been okay. Or even when the guy came in front of the vehicle to put his hand on it to quote unquote stop her from driving out, I think she still might have been okay. She still might have been okay. And they still might have not have took her in. But once you get off into that crowd good, you didn't force his hand, you going down at that point. But she didn't even understand. All she knew was she got to get to work. I don't care what you talking about. I don't care nothing about y'all parade. I don't care what this parade celebrating. I don't care about the kids. I don't care about none of this. All I know is I got to get to work. Now, y'all, these are random black sisters that probably have no idea who the other one is. Okay? These just random black sisters. And there's people who want to believe we being a little tough on the sisters. We bringing up too much foolishness about the sisters. We complaining too much about the sisters. Who want to be with these sisters, man? Now one supposedly got a little guy somewhere. The same guy who went outside to try to help his girlfriend out, say, hey, my girl need to get out of here later. Dude found somebody who was willing to work with him. Tell her to come on out now. I'll give her an escort. He go back into the crib, tells her about the escort. She flips him off. Now, y'all may say, well, we don't know what happened when she went in the house. We know she flipped him off. At the end of the day, she gave that dude the middle finger. Now, how she gave him the middle finger is what we don't technically have a full understanding about. We don't know if she just totally ignored his words. We don't know if she snapped at him or whatever. We don't know how it went down. But at the end of the day, it equaled him getting the bird. That's what it equaled. Because the man got somebody to do you a favor, and she didn't even respect the fact that he got somebody to do a favor. And probably didn't even look at him as a good man, because he did all that. And you know what? Who knows what's going to happen when she get home? When she got home to him, it probably was his fault. In her mind, it probably was his fault that she got arrested. Because if you was a real man, you'd have been taking me to work. If you was a real man, I wouldn't have to go to work in the first place. Oh. If you was a real man, this would have never went down the way it is. Shout out to Jerome Plain. He said they not our sisters, Roger. Just saying. Ask Vivica Fox about that. Hey, man. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think dude is married to her. I will say that. I don't think dude is married to her, because if you got a husband, you proud of the fact that you got a husband. And when those white officers was talking, she didn't bring that up, but then again, she could have a husband, but she's not proud of it in front of all those white people. So you never know how that goes. But I believe in my heart, she's just unmarried. Okay. She's a little too unruly. And I think dude need to get up out of there. Whoever dude is that came down to hook her up and found her escort, he need to get out of there quick. Now, I told y'all the law is soft on women. You know what I'm saying? Even including black women. You see, at the end of the day, she ended up getting 13 days behind bars, and she got 2 years of probation. Now she endangered about 25 people, y'all. Okay. That was the high estimate. 25. Between 15 and 25. Woo! But what they give her? 2 years probation, 13 days. That ain't that bad when you think about it, y'all. She can endanger up to 25 people, but she only got to actually do 13 days. And now she's got to avoid trouble for 2 years. That ain't that hard. That is not that hard. All right. So, at the end of the day, how could you find people that's more dedicated than this? You know, who don't want an employee that's willing to risk it all just to clock in? Okay. Okay. Y'all telling me this ain't the employee that you want? Okay. this ain't the one. Shout out to Trail Bentley. He say, Roger, I'm convinced she was over his apartment and didn't want to get caught. She also was on her very last warning at work. Now, those things could be true. Okay. She may have been in trouble at work, you know, and they may have told her, look, whatever her name is. Look, Latoya, the very next time you late, don't you worry about coming in here. If you ain't on time, you just don't even come in. That could very well be true. And when it comes to the guy, maybe she know enough to take some dick from him, but she don't know enough to take no direction from him. That's a very, very real possibility. She can take the dick, but she can't take direction. Ain't that about something? Okay. I mean, that's a common thing amongst black women. They really don't mind taking some dick, but taking direction, that's a whole different story. That's a whole different story. All right. So at the end of the day, you know, these women, now we could say a lot of what we want to say, you know, there's a lot of stuff to be said about these particular incidences. But what I'm not going to let none of y'all do, okay? What I ain't going to let nobody do is say these women ain't dedicated to work, okay? These are some of the most dedicated employees you ever did see, okay? And we're going to treat them accordingly, okay? We're going to treat them accordingly. These are some of the most dedicated employees you ever did see. Ever did see, man. My man said, hey, you already clocked out. You know, when the young lady was counting the rate, he said, you already clocked out. You're doing all this for free. But you know what? That's dedication, baby. That's dedication. She going to count that dro nice and slow, okay? But we got a guest that done came in, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him get in here. Welcome to the show. Who gonna check me? Go ahead and get it in, brother. How you doing?
Hey man, welcome to this Maniac Monday you got going on today. Oh man, bro, this is the case of who gonna check me. This is the ghost of who gonna check me. This is what's going on. These are the spirits entering into these women of who gonna check me. Can't nobody tell them what to do. They ain't listening to nobody. They're not lining up with any type of authority or authority figure, whether it be a boyfriend, a husband, a father, the police, nobody. And they expect you Negroes to act accordingly. When they get loud and belligerent and they want to have their way, you just supposed to get out the way and let them cause chaos and confusion and the world is supposed to come up behind them and clean up their mess. Yeah. Who gonna check me, boo? See, y'all didn't know the movement, it was a ghost. It was a spirit of who gonna check. And we are seeing it being manifested today. This is what's going on out here. You know, hey man, I say that the U.S. has coddled these women so long, and this entitlement by right belongs to them, and they should be out here asking the cops, who gonna check me? You know, that second woman, she had the audacity to tell the police, "I'm not trespassing." Hey, listen, you being booked for trespassing. No, 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 no. Who gonna check me? I wasn't trespassing. I was on my effing job. Man, these women, they gotta work every day, every second, every hour to pay the bills, man. They broke. Nah, you can't come in their job telling them what they gonna do. You can't prevent them from going to their job. Damn your parade. Who gonna check me, boo? I'll land my plane down.
Uh, well, I'm gonna say, the spirit was in full effect. That's all. The spirit's in full effect. So, like, yo, the amazing thing is both of them really thought 100% for sure. I'm literally gonna get away with everything I do. That's clearly was in a thought process. And I'm gonna say again, y'all, black women have a very different relationship with police than black men. Because I did years ago. I used to say, black people shouldn't be calling the police on black people unless it's like really something serious going on. Like, you ain't supposed to do that. But now it's no, you don't call the police on black men. You call it on black women, they ain't got much to worry about. They gonna be fine because they don't want to do nothing to them. Did y'all see how much time they gave this young lady before they would even put her under arrest? They did everything they could to avoid putting her under arrest. And they said to themselves, all you had to do was walk out the store. If she would have just simply walked out the store, she was good. And I'm not saying she should have been arrested beforehand, but they did go through all this trouble to call the manager and all that just to, the managers say, okay, well, they obviously not going to work well together. It's okay. You can tell her to leave. They did everything they could to let this girl, number one, keep her job because she might have blown it now. She might have blown it because the arrest started from work. So you could definitely have blown your job at this particular situation. And the thing is, she only been there 2 weeks.
Hey.
She only been there 2 weeks, y'all. How you running something and you been there 2 weeks? But hey, it is what it is. She now I didn't quite question her name. Was it Shakina?
Shaquilla. Shaquilla. That's what it is, Shaquilla. See, y'all say I'm the white supremacist. I would have just thrown that application away. We wouldn't even have this problem. But that's for another day. That's another day.
I was just gonna say, man.
That's another day.
That played right into the stereotype right there. That played right into the stereotype. But let me give it to Tunnel Runner real quick. And let's see what you do with it. Tunnel Runner, what's good, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Doing very well, sir. Sir, if I could get this kind of dedication in the kitchen, I'd be with a black woman right now. There would be no Tunnel Runner. I wouldn't be saying no si se puede. But I can't get no dedication like this in the kitchen and cleaning the house. So I had to go someplace else where I could find the dedication to the homework. But I see they're dedicated to outside the home. But they won't be dedicated like that in the house. If they were dedicated like that in the house, I'm telling you, I couldn't find a sister that be dedicated like that in the house. That's my problem. That's why I had to go all this overseas. But I like the dedication. I just need to get focused. I try to focus this dedication, this work ethic into a certain direction, but I just couldn't get them to focus.
I'm telling you, if black women act like this generally with black men with this type of dedication to work, Joe, I mean, we take over, man. Quick. White folks wouldn't know what to do, man. They wouldn't know what to do. We had women this dedicated. Because with black men, all they talk about is laziness. You niggas need to do this, so I ain't got to do that. You niggas need to get this, so I ain't got to do that. And then look at this, y'all. The whole time they super dedicated to that white man. You can't tell them they ain't finna work for that white man. You know, even the police ain't gonna tell her she ain't gonna work for this white man. The last thing this young lady wanted to do was clock out. And then after she clocked out, I'm doing it for free. Because I ain't counted the draw. And I don't want to disappoint that white man. So let me do all this for free. And it was so easy for her to leave that she just didn't. Did y'all peep that? It was so easy for her to leave that she just didn't. She just would. I'm not gonna leave because it's easy.
She took every opportunity she could to antagonize the police and the manager that was there. And, I mean, if it just like you said, if it seemed like this was a smooth path, no, we ain't going that way. We ain't doing that. No. Y'all just gonna let me walk to the front door? No, I got something else.
Bro, she put her hand on the front door. All she had to do was push it and go on out the door. But you know what? That's too easy. It don't feel right. I can't do that as a woman. Okay? I am a black woman in the United States. I am not going to come out of here easily. And what y'all not going to do is escort me off the property. That's what y'all not going to do. You know?
She gave those cops an inside view of what it's like to be a black man in a relationship with a black woman. That's exactly what it's like.
Well, I would say, dude, the guy who made the video obviously pointed out that one smirk the guy did. Like, that smirk could have meant a lot of stuff, and that smirk also meant is this. I see why black men having trouble.
Listen, that night when they got done processing her, when they went back out on the road, the next black guy they pulled over, they just like, you know what, bro, I'm sorry. The guy like, what was you talking about? Hey man, I know what you're dealing with. I'm sorry, man. Just going on about your business.
It was either that or they pulled somebody over and beat the brakes off of. Hey, I'm sorry, this ain't got nothing to do with you, but we gotta take this out on somebody. Body cams on. Body cams on. We're gonna have to beat the mess out too. But hey, go ahead, bro. Get in there, bro.
Y'all, man, y'all are some fools, man. Hey, man, I'm gonna have to come in and stop y'all on this one though, man. Cause what I saw two hardworking black women just trying to go out there and make money, man. And I saw police officers harassing these hardworking black women.
That's what you saw.
You got one lady just coming out her apartment. You know, she looks well put together, got a nice car. Look like she's doing something with herself, you know, just trying to go to work. And now a police officer telling her she can't go to work. And so what does she do? She sits there and politely just has an exchange with the police officer. Says, sir, I'm just trying to go to work. You can't go to work. This shut down. Well, I got to get to work. I got to go out and make money. I got to pay my bills, officer. Yet the officer still doesn't want her to go to work. Now, when she drove into the crowd, you can hear the woman say politely to the crowd, to the people walking in the crowd, excuse me. Very polite. I mean, very respectable of the people walking around in that crowd. She was just trying to. On the other end, what they did to that young lady was so wrong, man. When they took her to jail, they sexually assaulted this young lady, strapped her down to a chair. They was touching her booty cheeks, her breasts. She was screaming in horror, man. And she was at work. She was at work, Roger. She was out there making legal money. She wasn't boosting. She wasn't spending that shit. She was just trying to go to work, man. And they come in her job and they take her to jail. Come on, y'all, man. Y'all got to do better, man. We got to defend these sisters. Believe all women. I'm going to land my plane there.
Now I'm going to say shout out to Bronx because I'm going to say Bronx playing. But I do believe there's people who would look at these videos and really express that and they mean it for real. What is wrong with us men that we're not protecting these women? We need to bail them out. We need to cover their court costs and all kinds of stuff. And man, I don't know
We
what
should
to
be
do with
marching
them.
right now, man. We should be
And
marching right now.
that second video is Bronx oldest daughter, man. He just don't want to touch
Well, when I seen these
uh,
videos, and I honestly, I saw the one in second. I saw that one first. I saw that one first. Then I saw the other one. But I was like, man, what do you do with a woman like this, man? What do you do? She at work. She don't want to work properly. The guy asks her to leave. Now I can understand being afraid to lose your job. She did say, she did ask the lady, Dawn. I got that. She asked Dawn, this mean I don't come in Monday? And Dawn, I don't think gave an indication that she's getting fired. So my thing is, why can't you just go home at that point? Like, it's cool. I understand you ain't only been working for 2 weeks. You don't want to lose no hours. But at the end of the day, is it better to just go home for right now and then have a talk with them later? Because you're only 2 weeks in. My thinking is, if you only had the job for 2 weeks, you can pretty much get away with just about anything. You can come back, you got to be extremely blatant for them just not to have a conversation with you and let you keep going because you're only 2 weeks in. You'd have been all right. You'd have been perfectly fine. Now, y'all know the funny part to me was that she started talking about she want to call her dad. Do y'all think she knew her dad?
she had
Oh
a great
yeah,
relationship with her
absolutely.
father. She had a great relationship with her father, man. That's
Hundred
why she had a
percent,
job. That's why she had a job,
hundred
Roger.
percent, 100%. She called Bronx soon as they got out the street, Jay. Soon as they got out the street, 100%, 100%.
I
Now,
said,
now, I got a question for Bronx. Bronx, what was your daughter? I mean, the second girl in the video. What was her name? Do you remember what her name was?
Innocent.
No, no, no,
In-
no, no. That
innocence.
might be that might be
Innocence.
a last that might be a last name. What's her first name, bro? Can
What
you even
Shakila? Shakila?
look? See, you can't even pronounce it. Do you think I should have thrown? Do you think I would have been wrong if I threw that application away? Come on
Nah,
now,
yeah, you've
talk
been
to
wrong,
me.
man. You've been
Talk
wrong.
to me.
You've been wrong.
I'd have been
You've been
wrong for
wrong,
throwing
man.
even after you seen the evidence. You can't even remember or pronounce the name. I keep telling y'all, ghetto
Reset.
names.
What evidence are you talking about, man? I saw two police
Man,
officers roll up on a black woman that was just trying to work, man.
for
It was a
those who don't know,
light skinned Negro in there trying to mess with her. She ain't know who he was, what he was doing there.
man,
She just trying to work.
listen. If you're a black man, you get into management, you see an application with the name Shaquille on it, just throw it away. Trust me,
No, no, no. We cannot do that. That is
just throw it away.
stereotyping. There are some
Yeah,
good people with those kind of names. Stop.
show them
And she
to me.
was one of them. She was
Show
one
them
of
to me.
them.
Show them to me.
Oh.
No, no, bro. You get Glocktavius, Demontre Jr. Just throw it away. Just don't even just throw it away. I'm telling you. You get you get Lashonda, Laquilla,
Lexus.
Larae Jenkins. Throw it away. Throw it away. Just throw it away. You gonna save yourself a lot of headache. As a matter of fact, if you meet a woman, even if she look nice and she tell you her name is look, Entrene Jenkins, hey, throw it away. Throw it away.
Entree.
Entree.
Entree. Man.
Hey, but
Well,
Roger, we are here in Atlanta. These women are famous for. I mean, the cops come to them and they just like telling them, "Don't." I mean, the cops be like, "You need to move on. You need to stop," and they be like, "No, they don't listen. You cannot tell me what to do." That girl that says, "Who's gonna check me, boo?" She's from Atlanta. You know that meme. That sister was from the Housewives. They do not believe that anyone can tell them what to do. They're going to do what they want to do. Get out of the way. I'm
Well,
woman, hear me roar.
I'm gonna say obviously it's spreading because I don't know where either one of these young ladies are from. Because I ain't even pay attention to where they were from. I didn't. I ain't paid no attention to where they was from. It was just the dedication
One
they
of,
had to being
one of,
wrong.
one of them was West Palm Beach, Florida. So, to my everlasting shame,
You
She
know,
was
West
just
Palm Beach,
visiting from
Florida.
Atlanta.
well,
Lord have mercy.
my thing is wherever you happen to be from, if you grown up in the United States, like this what nothing difficult happened for real, other than their bad behavior. One guy told you you just can't park, you can't drive through this street. Just back up and go back to where you were. That's all you had to do. The other ones just said, you know what, it's time to leave the store. We cleared it with your manager. You're off the clock. And you know what? I'm gonna say I just don't understand that part. Like, where did she come from, man? Why do you want to work off the clock for these people? To me, I find that disturbing. You know, now I don't know that she's not FBA. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I kind of hope she's not FBA because you wanted to work for them people for free, with the threat of police officers arresting you. Do y'all understand how sick that is? If your people got slavery in the background somewhere, and you under the threat of arrest want to work free for white folks, man, that's just disgusting to me. Like that's just a very weird. Like I don't know what's wrong with her. Like why you want to work for them so bad?
Man, somebody was playing with a Ouija board and promised a unborn child to the spirit of who gonna check me, boo. That's what happened. That's what happened. This is who gonna check me, boo, in the flesh, man. I don't care who you, the police, the manager, your daddy. Can't nobody tell her nothing. Nothing. She gonna tell the police, no, you can't charge me with that because I said something. I promise you, if you can get the recording, she told the judge the same thing. I promise you.
How
And
you gonna
Roger,
charge me with
Roger,
trespassing? I'm at work.
wasn't that second sister? She was in the BMW. Was that a 5 Series or was that a 3 Series?
You know what? I didn't look.
I mean, it looked
Look like
pretty good. So I mean, she looked like she's doing okay financially. So I mean, the cop gave her. He even gave her said, "Well, you can't drive this car, but you can go get Uber on the other side." But she just like, yeah, I don't know. Don't give me no suggestions. I got to go. I mean, the dedication is amazing. If I like that, I need that dedication in the kitchen and in the house. Oh, I'll be if I can get that dedication, but I forgot I'm black. That's my problem. I forgot I'm black sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. If I
if
get
black
that
women was,
dedication, I have no problems with these sisters.
yeah, I mean, I hate to tell you, brother, you got the wrong skin tone, bro. We all got it, man. Because this level of dedication was just absolutely amazing, and I don't want that to be lost on people. I think if y'all to watch this stuff without me doing the commentary, nobody would have paid attention to how dedicated these black women are for working for other folk. You know what I'm saying? They dedicated. And let me see. Truth Teller said, Roger, she didn't know that the company security has to be upheld. Well, you know what, Truth Teller? She's only 2 weeks in. I know she don't know all policies, but she's doing the best she can to do everything the company would want her to do. I mean, when she went back to count that draw, I was like, this girl is something else, okay? uh, Now, Truth Teller said, did you guys peep what she was wearing? What job was she going to? Oh, you talk about that woman in that well, the first of the two women who had issues.
In the BMW.
Yeah, I'm thinking telemarketing, something like that. Because that is a good question. I don't know what job she going to, but it's obviously one where you don't talk to customers. It's got to be that. Maybe she's going to the warehouse. I have no actual clue because she don't look like she's about to do any real work anywhere. I'm just gonna keep that real. So I don't know where she was going, unless it's like telemarketing, and maybe that's a very very old BMW. But I don't know what
And
she
she
about to
might
do.
have some scrubs at work or something. She might go, go in the, if you go in the shorts and the little shirt, she might have some like work clothes at work, depending on
I
the
mean, that's
job.
possible. That is possible that she had an outfit to put on when she got there. That's very possible. Her clothes are already there. That's the only thing that kind of makes sense to me because I don't know if you getting on. Is you working a factory job like that? I don't know. you know, yeah, I don't know what she was about to do. And a lot of these places, if it's like, I would think, I don't know, but I would think if you telemarketing or something, I'm pretty sure they got that set up where you could do that from home nowadays. So, you know, I don't know what she was about to do. All I know was it was important to her. That's what I do know. It was super important to her. And you can't tell her she can't get there. And she had to get to Virginia, which the way she said it wasn't that, Virginia is not a short distance. It's actually a good little ways away. So, everybody's supposed to adjust. Okay? Everybody's supposed to adjust. The parade goers, they had no business being out there at that type of time when they know she got to go to work. Why would you schedule a parade during her? Why would you schedule a parade during the time she got to commute to work? So I guess they was just wrong as a city, county, whatever. They was just wrong.
And Roger, if I was her supervisor, I would have told the girl in the BMW. She said, "There's a parade. I got here late. I took a little bit." I said, "You should have left 2 hours earlier before the parade started. You should have. You should have got here.
I'm trying to
Ain't
figure
no
out why she
excuses."
just didn't call off, man. If your job that far away and you got this scenario where you could tell them, "Hey, look, I don't know what's going on. It's a parade going through here. I never saw the warnings. I'm stuck." You know,
That was a
I'm
good
leaving.
excuse. That was a good excuse. Probably they would have said, "Just go ahead, stay home."
Well, I say this, I'm not a calling off type person. I believe if you got a job, you really shouldn't call off. But what I do know is women call off. so I don't see what the big deal is. Why you just didn't call off? Women call off on a regular basis, from I'm gonna say from what I know of, women don't seem to have much of an issue calling off work. Okay, she's a woman. I don't get why she just wouldn't call off, unless, like somebody said earlier, she was already in trouble. Maybe she quote unquote couldn't call off. You know. Now
Yeah.
my thing is, I'm not gonna even give her that excuse. I think she just wanted to do what she was told. It's that simple. You know, because if a parade is coming through, I'm pretty sure they're gonna let you know probably a good week in advance that this street gonna be closed. It's a parade, y'all. This is like something we schedule. This is not no natural disaster or anything like that. This is something people schedule. Who don't know the parade coming up anyway? It's a lot of parades that happen. I may not know the exact date. I know there's gonna be a parade in a couple of months here in Chicago. We
Man,
every time the kids go back to school, we got a parade.
those
I know
those
the parade coming.
notifications, those notifications was for everybody else, man. She has special privileges. That's what you don't understand, Roger. You sitting
And
up here
Roger,
acting as though those rules apply to her.
I don't seen the situation where these women been with a man, and the man tells them, "Okay, well, we can't go. Come on, let's leave. Don't go." And they like, no, no, they ain't listen to that black man. They going to tell the cop what they going to do. And I see the men just have to leave these women because they will fight with the man and they will fight with the policeman. Only way if that man just have to just take over because they just don't want to listen.
Well, I think this is just a situation where there's just an extra level of disrespect. But let's not forget, a gentleman came outside, got somebody to give her an escort. She wouldn't come out, so she could be escorted. He said, "Come on, she got to come like the next 3 minutes." The guy went in the house to let her know that she can get escorted, and he never came back out. So she just didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what you want me to do when she just don't care? You know, and y'all
Like
see how the
man
cops
said,
are
who gonna
talking?
check me, boo? You ain't gonna check me. I'm the
Yeah,
special. You got to take care of me.
yeah. And the officer said it's premeditated.
Yeah.
We got you an escort, but you said no, I'm not coming out. Yeah, I mean, so you can get all she had to do is get the car to the right location. Now, let's say she ran through the parade real quick. Y'all really think they would have arrested her if she ran through that parade? You know, because that'd have been your next option. Okay, you move the car when they want to escort you, right? You move the car, then you go back to where you was. You do your thing. You finish getting ready, and then when it's time for you to go, you dart through the crowd real quick. They probably wouldn't have arrested you for that. Them police officers wasn't really even trying to arrest her. She just made it impossible to not get arrested. You know, I can't not arrest you, and you got a car in the parade route. I gotta arrest you now. you know, I didn't even want to do all this, but now you done forced my hand because I can't just let this go. You know, you did it in front of everybody. I don't even know what she thought was gonna actually happen. And my thing is this: if you're gonna be that dedicated about getting to work, go on through that mob. If I did that, y'all, ain't no in the world I don't make it to work that day. Now I may have to come home and deal with this, but if you're gonna do it, do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she should have did that, y'all. I am not saying that at all. Don't Roger's not saying people need to drive through crowds. All I'm saying is if I drive through a crowd, I'm gonna make it to work. Okay, I may not even get to work the whole day. Maybe the police find out, they run the license plate and all that, meet me at the job, whatever. But I'm gonna make it to work if I'm doing all that. You know, if I'm gonna get arrested, I'm gonna get arrested for something. That's my. I ain't getting arrested for nothing. I'm gonna get arrested for something. Okay, so I just want brothers to know. Look, y'all, it's as serious as they want it to be. Now we be trying to give black women all kind of excuses and whatnot, and act like it's not that big a deal. It's a big deal whenever they say it's a big deal. For both of these women, they was not gonna let go of what them bosses wanted. We got a young lady in the store who just wasn't finna be moved. I don't care what we felt about it. She was not finna be moved. And the fact that you somehow got her out that store, y'all see how she was tripping at the police station? Because she could not do what she felt the white man wanted her to do who gave her the job. I mean, that's saying a whole lot. And that I want to talk to my dad. I don't think that lady got a dad. I think she was trying to get the police on some
Stop talking.
wild goose chase. So
Stop
she could
talking about bro like that. Stop talking about
yeah.
bro like that.
Nah,
He
man.
love his daughter.
This woman had no respect for male authority. None. So she want to call her dad. Now, I mean, she could have a dad. I ain't gonna say it ain't true. Now, and I don't think she FBA, man. I'm saying really, real talk. That's the only thing I'm going off of. The way she kind of sounded and the way she said she want to call her dad while showing she has no respect for male authority whatsoever. You know, I don't know what she from. I'm not trying to say nothing about any other group of people. I just don't think she want to ask. She could be though. She could be. I just don't think she want to ask. But let me hold fast because Inspired Truth has come up, and I'm gonna let him get the mic. You got it, my brother.
All right, all right. As per usual, peace to the panel, peace to the chat. I hope you all are having a magnificent Monday. Man, I don't even know where to start on this one. You could have put up like about four, five, six different videos on the same topic. Like I saw another one where the lady was basically working in a warehouse or Amazon or something like that, and she wouldn't leave because she thought that she was on the schedule, but she wasn't on the schedule. And that kind of brings me to another thing, and that was like with like a female supervisor that was telling her, "Nah, you ain't on the schedule, you got to go." So I mean, I don't know. I mean, man, woman, or whatever the case may be. Like it ain't listening to anybody. Like it's like some weird thing going on there in terms of the operating system. And that's a darn shame with that lady that was gonna drive through that parade. Cause like you by looks wise, you say, oh yeah, she looks kind of like cool. She looks cute or whatever. I think she might have a head on her shoulders, but that operating system is cracked, man. There's nothing you can do with that. Like you shouldn't have that around you. That's dangerous. And I'm gonna leave it at that for now.
I mean, she look like a black woman to me. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, I don't know what's different with her and anybody else. She look like a black woman, just like the first one looked like a black woman. Yeah, well, the second one, the one that was in the technically the third video. You know, but honestly, I do think all that's developing even from the first video, which is just a little joke about some youngster who can't pick a pop flavor. But you know, to me, y'all, ain't it amazing how she drunk the same pops and got all these different things? Because reality is bigger than whatever they say. That's what's going on in their minds, y'all. That's what's going on. That's why I thought, you know, I'm not saying I got a problem with the video with the kid. It's just funny. But when you think about it from a greater perspective, how did she get Mountain Dew and Sprite out of Coke? Like that's not even close. You know, the Pepsi, okay. I think they taste different. Coke and Pepsi taste different. But okay, let me say dark pops. Okay, they colder. Okay, cool. How did she get that Sprite out of there, man?
I don't know how she could have gotten the Mountain Dew out of there.
It's just when they make a decision, stuff just change in their mind. You know, it's just different. You know, so I think really with these two young ladies, the ideal of disappointing that white man that paid them was just too far of a thought process for them to accept. They was not going to disappoint that white man. One was going to get to work even if she got to drive through a crowd. The other one was not going to let some random manager that she don't know tell her that she got to go home and she's not going to stay on that white man's clock. Because she came to dedicate herself for whatever the shift was, 8-hour shift, 12-hour shift, whatever. I'm going to assume an 8-hour shift just because she only been there for 2 weeks. So I'm going to assume she came dedicated. She was going to put them 8 hours in no matter what anybody had to say about it. She going to do these 8 hours. You know, if you don't like it, you better go and sit down somewhere. Because she here to do these 8 hours, and 8 hours she going to do. Yeah, and I'm going to stop right there. Because Truth Teller is coming up. So let's see what Truth Teller got on this. You got the mic, my brother.
Today's episode needs to have some advertising from some feminine care, some toiletries, some perfume company. This is all ladies. I want to clarify. The lady in the convenience store, her boss was a black woman. I don't know if y'all peeped that or not.
Yeah. I peeped. I was going to get into that. Go ahead.
Dawn was a black woman, but Dawn exhibited the same stuff black women did. Unaccountability, because that's her store. Why would a new manager show up and your new employee has no idea a new person coming in? And then when the police is reporting that they having a problem with this new employee because they don't know the new manager, Dawn blames it on the employee. So we got some multiple levels of unaccountability and irresponsibility happening in that. Actually, in both instances, because the other chick, I'm sorry, y'all. I really didn't think she was talking to a cop the whole time. I thought it was, it was like a service worker or something at the parade saying, hey, we can't let you go. I did not recognize it was a cop. So they got that out the car, and I heard the same dude's voice, but I saw him in camera talking. I was like, oh, it's a cop.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, Truth Teller. She was there, and she didn't recognize it was a cop. She was
and she called.
In my mind, I'm thinking she talking to a dude, and she just didn't want to listen to no dude. He was a cop in uniform, but for some strange reason, she thought the power of her mama was gonna overcome the situation. Call my mama. So in both cases, black women failed each other in this instance. It's ridiculous. I'm just glad we ain't have nothing to do with either of these two scenarios. I don't know how they gonna blame us for this, but this one ain't our fault at
Bro,
all.
Hey,
bro, imagine how
truth
you,
teller. They were supposed to clear the road. Her boyfriend was supposed to clear the road for her. He was not supposed. He told her about the
No.
escort, but he was supposed to clear the road for her. That's
So,
his
so
fault. And
you
the
know what
other
was
girl,
that?
her father should have came there and protect her. She
Wait,
just
I
trying to
thought
work.
okay, so down here in Florida, we be having parades and they lock off streets. So I was with her until I realized it was a cop she was talking to the whole time. I was like, yo, can't you just let it through? But then when she said, no, I'm going, and she went on the road and she just drove up the whole road. I thought, she was going to go on the road and turn on the next block and come off the road. No, she drove up the road.
she literally drove over there into where the people were, like about 20 people.
Wait, she wasn't stopping. She was basically
Y'all,
saying, I'm gonna use this whole road,
y'all,
not just part of it.
y'all insensitive. Y'all,
I don't
Bro,
understand.
imagine if we did
y'all,
something like
y'all,
that. Like, imagine that, but somehow this is the most
y'all
unprotected.
insensitive. Y'all don't
Reset, you going in and out. We ain't catch what you were saying, but yeah, she did decide to use the road at her personal discrimination to do exactly the way she wanted to do it. Like there was no sense of urgency to turn it off that block. I guess that's what True Tone is saying.
Yeah,
No
like
sense of urgency.
at all. Like, all right, fine. I gotta use this block, but I'm gonna take a back road. So I use this right quick, and then I turn off so I can get to where I'm going. No, she
understand.
was just gonna drive
That
up the
woman is
whole
good
road.
with money.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Look at,
yeah.
imagine this though, like this whole idea of like most unprotected. How in the world are you supposed to protect that? That
I mean,
somebody that's going to do that?
you go to a police officer and you ask, "Can I get can my girl get out of this situation?" That's how you protect her. You ask somebody, "Can I get her out?" And somebody say, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna give you a police escort." That's what you do.
Mhm.
That's what you do. So the guy protected her. He definitely
Mhm.
protected her. She just didn't give it. She didn't give a rest behind, bro. That's all. Like, what more was he supposed to do?
Roger. Inspired Truth said, imagine we do that. Yeah, we have done that and we got killed, shot, arrested, beat
Yep.
Yeah.
down, and
You know
all
what? You
all
know
the
what?
above. So
I,
we
I,
know
I,
better.
I don't even really like going in. I mean, I do it from time to time. I don't even really like going into, like, what if it was us? We don't need to. It's her. Like the law is the law, man. All you got to do is just do what the law say. You are obviously in the wrong. It's not a situation where you got to figure it out. It's kind of unknown. It's not even new. When the parade come, these streets are closed. That's a normal thing. That's been going on before she was born. And if you don't want your car to be in a bad situation when the parade is happening the next day, all you got to do is park in a different location. That's what you do for stuff like this. You park, but see, and now I be saying it jokingly, but it be real too. But I always say black women, they only think 4 minutes ahead. Why you just couldn't park somewhere else different? You come home. I mean, I've done it myself plenty of times, y'all. I come to the crib. They got a street cleaning sign out there. Okay, so they gonna clean the street. So I just don't park there. That's it. I just park somewhere else because they gonna clean the street. What's so difficult about that? Nothing.
I, I think this might be a situation where she might just have to just suck it up and just take the fact that she's gonna have to take a Uber, and the Uber's price is gonna be more than whatever the paycheck for the day was gonna be. Like, just to maintain the job or whatever. Like, just take the L and move on.
I don't think you realize she didn't have the financials to afford Uber.
I definitely believe that was part of the process too. She didn't have it that day, and she said, I got to go all the way to Virginia. So that's telling me Virginia was a decent distance from what they happen to be. Maybe that Uber ride is $150, you know what I'm saying, to get to where she got to go one way. Maybe she end up $300 for the day, but she might go to work and only make $200. But at the end of the day, you gotta make some decisions that make sense at some particular point. And just because you don't mean everybody else gotta bend to your will. It's a parade, man. Like, if this is not something that just came out. It wasn't like a sinkhole fell and now you can't go. This is a parade. They probably put signs up a week ago. And it's probably a parade that
That
happens.
BMW didn't look like it was so beat up or nothing like that. She gotta have money. She got a BMW. She's making good decisions. She would not buy a BMW and not have money
No,
to afford the
The
Uber.
maintenance on that is costly.
Or
just
even
so
if they
y'all,
had a big, she's supposed to know that those cars are for the they're for the rich, the people who are doing well. When you buy those cars, you should understand there's maintenance involved. Didn't
I
somebody
see what
tell her
you're doing.
that?
I see what you're doing. That's what I'm gonna say. I see what you're doing. But I'm gonna say this, y'all. Our parades announced all of a sudden, or our parades kind of known for a while?
You guys are being insensitive to her needs and to her budget. This woman has budgeted out day by day, week by week, how much gas she got to put in that car. She can't just go to the right on some innocuous road and go to the left just because they having a parade. She got to go straight to the gas station because she don't eat. She got to get there. Y'all don't understand what it's like to be on a tight budget.
I think
I
this
think she
kind of
needs a
ties in.
strong man like Truth Teller to guide her financial future.
No, she
I,
has.
I ain't
I,
that
So that
strong.
she
I
might
ain't
have
that
you're
bought
right.
strong,
that
You're
nigga.
right.
car
You're right
and
about that.
been able to
Listen,
afford to get the Uber. Maybe she should have got a Chevy truck or something.
I
Maybe
Well, the other
I
side of
do
this
not have
is
the
like the
capacity, nor
situational
do I have the
awareness.
intelligence level to help out that idiot. I'm sorry. Um,
The situational awareness, though, like sometimes you got to know where you live. Like, if you're over here in New Orleans and you live on St. Charles, you might as well just wrap it up for parade season. You like, I'm just gonna call out. I'm gonna go on vacation,
well,
something
now,
like that. I ain't going nowhere if if I'm gonna be at my house. So you're gonna have to make some acknowledgement of where do you live.
well, hold on. It's not even that. So remember, the officer mentioned it that they gave out notices and people parked their cars in areas where they could get out.
Mm.
So what happens with these parades is because there's certain communities where like you're in a cul-de-sac and it's only one way in, one way out, or you're in a neighborhood where there's one way in, one way out. So if that's blocked off, even if you have a car or whatever, you're not getting out. But what most people do who live like that in that kind of area, they park their cars outside of that. And then they just walk out to their car. But of course, it would require her to have some forethought and also put in some extra effort to make sure she can get to work without being held up. And that might just be asking a little too much.
I'm gonna say shout out to Afro Merchant. He said it was kids in the streets. I guess those parents should have had their children participating in the parade. I guess that's what the problem is, those parents allow their children to participate in a scheduled parade. Because you know what? At any random parade, a car may come barreling through. That's what we got to know as parents nowadays.
She said them kids will be all right. They know how to get out the way, Roger. They'll be all right.
Look, y'all, there's a parade. It's called the Bud Billington Parade. It happened in Chicago. It's always right about the time the kids finna go back to school. I don't know the exact date of the Bud Billington Parade, okay? but I'm aware that it's gonna happen again. It happens every single year. Guess what I won't do? I won't put my car in a place where the bud that a parade gonna mess me up. We're not talking like, I mean, this is not a all of a sudden thing, y'all. This is a very planned out thing. Parade, you're gonna get notification of a parade, I'm pretty sure a good 2 weeks in advance. You got plenty of days to figure out where you want to park your car if you know this particular street gonna be cut off. Why couldn't she just do that? And then again, she had a man that talked to the police officer to say, hey, my girl need to get out. He say, look, brother, y'all already knew y'all couldn't get out, but I'm gonna let you out anyway. He walked in the house and never came out. That's what the officer said, y'all. So we know what happened when he went in the house. Baby, I got an escort for you, but you got to come on now. She hit him with the, well, I ain't ready. I think that man got on his video game. I don't know if this is what happened, but I think that was the most brilliant thing to do with that. All right, look, baby, I'm gonna go play some Call of Duty. You do you, okay? The officer's name Johnson. He right over such and such, and that's when you get on your Call of Duty, man. You put your headphones on and you go into that game world. Why? Because your girl finna get arrested. And you want to have the Call of Duty on so she know not to even call you about it. That's what I'm saying.
That's cold-blooded. But you have a point, though. Like, if he would have kept pressing her to hurry up, then she'll get all on his case about being annoyed and everything else. So, yeah, I kind of get it.
I did my part. It's time to make sure that 100%. I'm on the game. Don't call me. Real talk. Which might have been why she said, call my mama. It might have helped. She right there, y'all. Call my mom. I don't know. Now, what did she think her mom was going to do? Okay, she going to come down there and find out why she's getting arrested? What her mama supposed to do?
That was telling that she did say, call my mama, not my man. She didn't say call any type of man at all. She went to mama.
Black women think a black woman is the real authority. Yeah, that's why when old girl was talking about call my dad, I didn't buy into it.
I didn't buy it either, because as soon as she said call my dad, she flipped out like 2 seconds later, which led me to believe she ain't got no dad.
Yeah, she was trying to get the cops on a wild goose chase.
Call my dad, like the cops gonna be scared, and then she just flips out 2 seconds later. She ain't had no father, man. Come on.
Yeah, she was planning her escape route.
When they strapped her in the chair. Oh my God. That was the crazy part. She was bugging out so much. They literally strapped her in a chair, handcuffed. Yeah. Who are raising ladies, man? I know y'all think y'all could do it by yourselves, but if this is what the outcome is, man, what makes you think this is a good idea to go this route? Look at your daughters. My God. This is crazy.
That's why I say the world gonna get a whole different perception. Now that you got all these different police departments steady get these body cams, because more and more police departments are getting these body cams. And when you look at this stuff that we getting, this is all body cam stuff. You'll get a whole different perception.
I do remember this the incident a few years back. The Mr. Brooks, Officer Brooks, the lady, she's with her boyfriend in the car, and the cops rolled up, and she was flipping out. And then the cops was like, "I'm taking you in." And she was like, "Mr. Brooks." She was talking smack early, then later on, when she was getting locked up, suddenly she turned nice.
Yeah, I remember a little bit about that. I remember the switch up.
In an instant. Like, you would have got out of this if you just acted like that from the beginning.
Yeah. The ones that was in the park. They was in the park. It was in the park after hours.
Like, man, this is unnecessary.
Yeah, that was an easy one to walk away from. But yeah, she definitely she did not want to walk away. I'll just say that. She didn't want to walk away unscathed.
Dead set on going to jail. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe women jail is different than what we know. I don't know.
There's got to be something to it, maybe it's a lot more LGBT black women out here, so maybe that's something they want to experience.
And that was in Atlanta, my brothers. That was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
One of the
That was
parks in Atlanta.
okay.
That was in Atlanta.
Yeah. For me, man, see, and it's the crazy part. It ain't like I ain't never said it before. If a police officer catch me and I'm in the wrong, I'm all kinds of yes sir, no sir. I'm doing everything I can to get out that situation, getting nothing. I want to be so polite they don't even give me a ticket. Look, we just gonna give you a warning. Go on about your day. I'm yes sir, no sir, like a mug. And my thing is like, I can't even get why people won't even do that for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm trying to get away with something here. I'm not doing this because I like this particular police officer, but I'm trying to get away with something. I want to leave with no responsibility.
Listen, I've done that. When you talk to them respectively, right? And you talk to them with a certain tone, right? You don't have to be sitting there begging, massa, none of that stuff. But when you speak with a certain tone, respectfully, but also that you have respect for yourself, that actually changes their view on you, right? I've literally gotten either pulled over or cops that walked up on me, and I speak to them for 5 minutes, and suddenly now, all right, man, just go ahead and get out of here. And I don't gotta, I don't gotta sit there and act like I'm begging. I don't gotta sit there and act like I'm bootlicking. I ain't gotta do none of that. But then I also don't want to give them no attitude and be disrespectful, because that ain't gonna work in my benefit neither. And for some strange reason, a lot of the young people have difficulty with this, which is understandable. Because if you wasn't raised really to respect elders, and it's gonna be hard for you to do it. But these women, man, they be in their 30s and 40s just still doing this, which is ridiculous. I don't know how old these chicks are. They look young though, but yeah, I don't know, man. They can lock you up, ladies. Just so y'all know, they got prisons for y'all too.
Well, I paid attention to one of them. Like the one that was going to drive through the parade was like 28, like 2 years away from 30.
She's young. She don't know no better.
Come on, 28.
She's not even old enough to get married. She don't even know what she want, man. Come on now.
A lot of sarcasm. No, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, I'm gonna say, yeah, these are rather young, but what's the age of the person that's teaching them how to go out in life and do what's good for herself? Because they got mamas, at least. They definitely got mamas. We can tell in this situation, mom is definitely available. But I'm gonna say, even when it comes to the kid drinking the Cokes, if you've already set up in your mind that reality suspends itself based on what I want, it's a dangerous road that you got in front of you. Because I think that young lady drinking the Coke is headed to right where the other two ladies are. Bro, she tasted Mountain Dew, man. I'm just want to make this clear, y'all. She had a Coke and somehow she tasted Mountain Dew. Okay. That's after the lemon lime refreshing taste of the Sprite. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say something that's a little bit controversial, man. I'm gonna say something that's a little bit controversial.
Better leaders in the community, these women won't be acting like this.
I'm gonna just say some people shouldn't breed, man. Some people just should not breed whatsoever. I mean, when you look at the girl with the Coke Zero video, oh my goodness.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that behind that one, bro. You can't say some people shouldn't breathe and then say then segue to the girl in the Coke, because now you talking about people don't take that. You trying to say the little girl can't breathe, bro. You gotta be careful how you play stuff.
No. He said breed.
Oh, breed, like have children. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I hear you. That's a little better.
I'm gonna blame that on the food.
He's a degenerate, but he's not that degenerate.
I'm gonna blame that one on the food her family give her. Because if she don't know the different what Coke versus Sprite Zero versus Mountain Dew. Listen, Mountain Dew is one of the sodas that has the exceedingly most amount of sugar compared to any other soda that ever existed. And y'all think I'm exaggerating when I say that. If anybody gets a chance, look at the number of sugar grams that's in a Coke and then go to Mountain Dew. You'll understand what I'm
Don't nobody
talking
care.
about.
Don't nobody care.
I can
They're not
believe
even in
that.
the same reality as far as soda taste, ingredients, or even look.
Look, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying I'm no soda expert. And maybe you could trick me too if you put all Cokes in front of me. Okay? But I don't think for a second that if I got all Cokes in front of me, that I'm finna get Sprite or Mountain Dew. Them two are so far removed from the situation, if you ask me. I don't think that's happening. So what my thing is, her delusion that black women seem to carry is already setting in
Her
at an
taste
early
buds ain't
age.
developed.
You know,
Her
Very
taste buds
early
ain't
age.
developed. You don't.
Very early
Wait,
age.
what?
Her taste
She
buds ain't
got to get to
Reset,
developed.
stop.
30 before
Reset, stop it. Reset, you stop it. You
her
stop
taste
it, bro.
buds don't develop until she's 32. You know.
No, you don't start. You don't start really. You don't start knowing. You don't start really knowing the difference between Coke and Pepsi until you start chasing it with liquor. When you start using them as a chaser, you know the difference.
so she got a few years to go, huh? She got a few years to go.
She got a few years ago. I'm gonna give her some. I'm gonna give her some grace. I'm gonna give her some
What you
grace.
say? What you say? Coke with that yak is completely different than Pepsi with that yak.
Hey, you know it. Bro, the only thing she been doing is mixing sodas. She don't know no better. She don't know no better. You know, she drinking, she breaking Coke and Sprite together, you know, and it tastes good. It get a little flavor to it and all that. Yeah, she drinking lemonade mixed with Sprite and all that. So she don't, you know, she's still developing. But when she get that yak,
Lemonade.
when she get that yak, the taste buds gonna grow up. So we're gonna give we gonna give her a little break.
All right,
Hey,
we're giving grace out, I guess.
all right. Well, we got we got the one, the only Black Uru Strike has come up, so we gonna immediately give him the flow. Black Uru, what's going on, my brother? Great to see you here.
Come on,
Great to see you here.
come on to get these guys in order.
Hey,
Come
Take
on.
your belt off. Take your belt off, Uru.
hey, you, am I coming in clear or I just
Yo, we
need
hear
to
you. Yeah, we definitely
know
hear
for
you.
sure that? Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't. I'm going to put aside the soda experiment, although I think a lot of us would probably, I think a lot of us would probably fail the soda test. I think a lot of us aren't really as aware of how much marketing and a lot of other subconscious influences affect our perception and receptions of things. So that don't surprise me as much as it may surprise other people. Um, with respect to the other two women, you know, one of the things that I resent, one of the many things I resent about Ronald Reagan, and they're almost endless reasons for such, is his wholesale elimination of almost all of the country's major investment in mental and emotional health program. Those of us of a certain age, we saw. I mean, I grew up not too far from a place that dealt with people who were mentally ill. We would see them, as I would go to and from school. I would, you would see them be walked about in the sort of gated area near where I attended school. I mean, we saw people we saw the country deal with mental illness in a way, ironically, that was much more empathetic, you know, 40, 50 or more years ago than it is today. And the reason why I mean, I saw two mentally ill young women. That's what I saw. I mean, we can talk about the gynocracy and all that kind of stuff, and obviously that's a factor. I'm not discounting that, but the behavior and them not really even clearly seeing what was going on was reminiscent to me of what I've observed of certain forms of mental illness that obviously have been exacerbated by the environment we're in. But the continuing to work after you've clearly been dismissed and probably have been fired and there are police there, that's mental illness. That's a psychotic break of some sort. That's a breakdown. The girl that clearly not, you're gonna drive through people. That's some other, and then screaming for the father and whatever. And then I'm wondering, like, okay, well, what had her father have to try to manage about her? Seemed very reminiscent of mental illness to me. Now we're in an environment in which, ironically, we pretend to care about certain things, psychological. There's all this so-called counseling and whatever, while we've removed a lot of support from a lot of basic sort of more serious handling of more serious mental ill issues. We put things in the hands of people that probably should not be put in the hands of. They probably should be dealt with in a more clinical way. And so now, I don't know anything about their background. I don't know about prior criminal history, et cetera, or whatever. Maybe some refusal to take some necessary medication. Very often what you have going on in situations like those is somebody has stopped taking medication of some sort that would have otherwise regulated them kind of going off the rails, so to speak. You'll very often discover that very often is part of what happened when you see these breakdowns. But as punitive as we're inclined to be, these are black women, quote, misbehaving in public. I didn't just see that. I saw genuine mental illness from a mental health professional perspective. So that's my opinion. I don't know whatever kind of value it may be.
Nah, I think that's a very valuable opinion. Because realistically speaking, I mean, if I think about what they were looking at, what they saw and how they operated, they did not seem to grasp reality. When a police officer tells you can't move the cop, and you tear down the tape in front of the police officer, which to me was already stupid in itself, and then you get back in your car after the police officer told you can't move, then the police officer steps around to the front of the vehicle and puts his hand on it like, no, don't go into this area, and you do it anyway. I could make a good argument. This person is literally crazy.
Are we saying it's not their fault? Is that where we're going with it?
No, I'm not going there at all. I don't see
That's
Uru just very articulately
that
said
to me would be that would be a false dichotomy. That would be a false dichotomy. It's not an either or thing. And that's why I said earlier, very often what you have in these situations is somebody refusal to take certain medication. Because I've known people who had the situation where they've had conditions that were managed by medication and they refusal. So that is them being responsible, certainly, for what happened. They're voluntarily refusing to take medication or get certain treatment that then may increase the probability of some outbreak of this sort occurring, that's most certainly is on this. Most certainly.
I'm just, Uru, I'm just challenging your what you're putting forth. I believe you to be correct, but I'm still just challenging for the sake of the conversation because the rest of these punks up here are scared to talk to you. I don't know what's going on. They scared to go against you. They scared of you, man. Every time Uru come up here, they get quiet and shit.
Well, whenever MJ came to town, motherfuckers got scared.
Now we're going off the rails. Now we're going off the rails. I'm bored here.
Whenever the goat comes to town, motherfuckers get scared, man. That's just the way it goes.
They're like Mad Max. They tuck it in early. They going to sleep tonight.
right. Everybody starts sleeping in, get twitchy in their sleep and all that kind of stuff. So, that's how it goes.
Now I'm totally lost on who Reset trying to help. Now I don't even know who he's trying to help at this point. But
no. I'm just challenging the thought process. I do believe there's a lot of merit to what he's saying as well, but I think it's also while it probably is true. I know women, they'll use it as a removal of accountability. It's not their fault. It's just not their fault. That's how they're gonna see it. It's not my fault.
It's all Jermaine's fault, man. It's all Jermaine's fault, bro.
all right, let me get let's get Twitch and Shout in. He just came up, so let's let him get his 2 minutes. Twitch and Shout, you got the flow, my brother. You got the flow.
Yo, peace, fellas. Happy Monday to everybody out there. Chat.
Happy Monday, brother.
Round table and all that. Uru no got mad love for him, but I'm gonna have to tell him. Ain't no mental illness. It's a lack of not wanting to respect anything. We could tell, you could literally tell when there's mental illness going on. You can definitely see it, especially coming from our community. We really know the difference between mental illness and just a nigga that don't care about nothing. Nobody could tell him anything. No, and to the point where nobody wants to tell him anything, and then they start acting like this until somebody has to tell them something. She knew what she was doing. She knew the whole regimen of that job, breaking down the count, breaking down the money, the cash register, counting the money out, writing it down. She had sense enough mind, which I give her a lot of credit for. Before she walked out that store, she made sure her register was counted for, because homie could have went in there and bought some Jordans off her behalf and said she messed up stuff. So she has enough wherewithal to go through all it. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They just don't care. And the fact that you can't slap the living kabuki snot out of them,
it just
makes them go even further. And these guys have these body cams on, so they can't put foot in ass no more. And people know that. So they're trying to provoke the cops to where the cops just just lose it and just go ham on somebody. That's all it is. Everybody want a lawsuit. I definitely agree. We do have mental illness in our community, but this ain't it. Them 2 videos is not it. These are just people who don't want to listen to anything. If she was up on this panel and Roger told her the rules for you and hot sauce, she ain't listening to him.
I'm gonna say strong comeback. Strong comeback. And I'm not gonna say you're wrong, because at the end of the day, even though I said you could make a case for mental illness, I'm gonna say that when it comes down to it, I do believe these are just women who don't want to be told what to do, and I do believe that if they're going to listen, it's evidence that it has to be a woman. Because the if it was about not leaving the store, okay. Man, if it was about what I'm saying, the other managers said he didn't know her. It was their first time working together, but she wanted to get Dawn to say. She wanted Dawn to tell her what to do, but Dawn gave her instructions she didn't want to listen to anyway. So the whole thing was, I want Dawn to say what I want Dawn to say, but when Dawn don't say what I want Dawn to say, then I'm still not listening to Dawn either. But I will listen to Dawn is how she fronted. I listen to Dawn and Dawn say, because I know who Dawn is. I don't know who this dude is. But then when it's time to walk out the door, she don't walk out the door.
I, I think Uru has avoided the ratchetness of these women all his life. I think he married well. I think he raised his girls well, and he has not experienced this ghetto-ness because they behave like this every day on a regular basis, and when they get away with it, they go home and brag about it. It's
I think there could
rebellion.
be
Man,
I think there
man.
could be a both and. It could be both things. You could have a society that incentivizes the effery, but then you also have mental illness working on in the background as well. So then you have
No,
kind of like an incentive structure that just kind of perpetuates it and encourages it instead of
no.
actually
But
getting help.
The mental
I
illness
think
is no one ever
it's
correcting her.
self-inflicted. Correct. It's self-inflicted. It's not accepting authority of any kind. It's intentionally being rebellious and thinking that's going to profit your life, your whole life. And then you
See, we
get
have a
28
prop.
years
Well,
old when
look,
somebody finally says
I
enough
think
is
if
enough.
you observe, I think all of us are capable of of having and behaving in some very self-destructive ways. I don't think you can exclude from our behavior and even our character, our life experiences, and how that impacts our behavior. My father had a lot of siblings, and several of them, including he himself, were kind of a little bit left of center. Now they were well, he was reasonably productive. His two sisters less so, and then his other, I guess, 11 or so siblings were incredibly productive people. Now they were all raised in the same household by the same people down in the Mississippi Delta,
But Uru,
but they had
13
very
kids, somebody gonna
different
get the bad
kinds of.
genes.
Well, but I'm just my yeah, but my point is, just to make this argument about environment versus nature, and I've observed too much of human beings over time to know it's much more complex than that. And I do think the way people respond to situations say a lot. Those were not the behaviors of women that were just strictly rebellious females. The
Yeah,
things they said were not the things that were just rebellious. Those were people that were at least a little bit fucked up in the head for
nah,
whatever
Uru,
reasons. But they
Uru.
were definitely fucked up in the head. When you've been told to go home and you still counting money, what the hell is going on there?
That's
And the
rebellious.
police are there, and the police are. That's not just rebellion, man. That is not just rebellion. That is
That's re-
somebody who is fucked up in the head for whatever reason. For
Uru.
whatever
That's a little
reason.
bit of that's rebellion mixed with a little bit of fuck the police, mixed with a little bit of niggas ain't shit, mixed with a little bit I'm black, I'm bad, I'm bougie. That's all of that mixed in one. I'm tell brother. I think Reset is right. I'm not. You know what I mean. I think Uru was a little bit removed from the tackiness that's going on right now.
It's
No,
rough out here, Uru.
I saw
It's rough out here.
a lot of mentally ill people. I saw a lot of mentally ill people coming up along the way, and those people exhibit similar behavior to that. And that was long before crack hit the streets and all that shit. I saw them people. We grew up with them people. We saw the people. Then every week or so, somebody had to come and get them, and then they were gone for a couple of weeks, and then they came back. If you grew up in Chicago, you had that experience in the 60s and the 70s. That they dealt with people who were just slightly off the center, and people accepted it in their families. They managed it. They talked around it, somewhat made light of it. Well, she ain't quite right. So you gotta handle her a certain kind of way. Every now and then, a couple of weeks, so something's gonna go off on him. I mean, this is something that black people dealt with. Now, again, I don't know if look, I'm not a mental health professional, and I'm not capable of definitively saying either way what's going on with those women, but I saw some stuff there was reminiscent of some stuff that I've seen before.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with this. Could be one of those both and type situations, because if you can't control what somebody does for a period of time, or if no one does actually control what they do for a period of time, and they grow up thinking nobody can check them, it's a natural thing for your disposition to get worse, or the things that you do to be worse. Because what does rebellion get you? More rebellion. If you allow somebody to get away with rebelling, they are going to get more rebellious. That's just a natural process as well.
Look, the one girl started screaming for her father, not her mother, her father. Now, what I'm thinking when I hear that is, what has her father had to deal with, had to manage with her, that she starts begging for him?
I told you the
That was the
fathers are
first
just.
thought came to my mind, that but maybe her father contributed to it, or maybe her father has had to manage some shit in dealing with her and having to try to see her through the world as a semi-independent person. And that works right up until a point in which, like I said, either she's not taking her medication or she's going through a spell or whatever, and then now the shit is out of hand. And now the
Thank you,
police
Uru.
come in. Whereas in the
Thank you, Uru.
past, some folks used to come and they had on white coats.
Well, that's still a process.
Thank you for defending my daughter's honor, man. Thank
That
you
was
for defending
still
my daughter's honor,
the people
because that's
coming with white
exactly what it
coats.
was.
The people
That's
coming
exactly
with
what
white
it is,
coats is
Uru.
still the people coming with the white coats is still you having to pay the piper somehow. They don't have to pay the piper anyway now. Their fathers are encouraging this stuff. She ain't. This is what this. You you not when you in trouble. You're not calling the most disciplinary person in your life.
Hey, Shark, leave my daughter alone, man.
Don't
Rock
claim
her
it,
dad.
bro.
You see where reset at? Get
When
reset.
a maybe soundly thinking person is in trouble, maybe you're right. But if somebody is a little bit off, they might regress very much to sort of a childlike state. Where is my daddy?
That's
I need
black
my
people.
dad.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
I
that
mean,
That's that.
now you making some broad commentary about black people overall, as if we're just some kind of immature people, and that's just some bullshit.
Well, the
That's
new
that.
the,
That's
the new one that we
that's
dealing with now, I would say, is because the ones that you came up with, they had to face consequences through society,
right.
through other races of people, through black people holding them accountable. That's why I said I gotta go with reset on this. I know you're a highly intelligent person. I know you've been around, you traveled, you did a lot of stuff. But I gotta go reset on this one. You probably just a little bit far removed because this new Negro ain't have to deal with anything.
Yeah, this is
I
the
would
new
go a little
batch.
bit further though. I think that there's something going on in the broader society as well. Because if you've seen like some of those TikTok videos and other videos where the chick is just kind of like walking around absent-minded, kind of like, and then her man is like taking care of like all of the situational awareness of everything around her. Like that is kind of like an infantilization of women in a way that could be deleterious when it comes to dealing with reality.
Yeah, yeah. When Uber was coming up, they had to pick stuff out the garden, wash clothes by hand. Now they don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, they don't have any responsibilities anymore. But before I got took out, I was saying that young girl, she was arrested in West Palm Beach, Florida. That's where I went to high school. All the young chicks are like her, like that. They got that same attitude. They got that same rebellion for authority. Nobody can tell them nothing. They ain't listening to no man. They'll tell you. I ain't listening to no man tell me nothing. From the teachers to their jobs, everything, man. You ordering a burger at Wendy's, they holding up their phone texting somebody, you got to wait 2, 3 minutes, and then they huffing and puffing like you wrong for being there, taking the order.
I've seen that. I've
Man,
seen that
man, I hate
before.
that, boy.
Oh,
If you
shoot,
don't
I've
give
seen
if you
it.
don't give me my food with no attitude, man.
It's
At the end of the day, can you say they're off if they live in a society where people ain't checking them? Because I mean, we got to be realistic. If we ain't checking them, what we supposed to get?
It could be both fan, both fan.
You know what I'm saying? I was a kid too. Why
Roger, you
did I
can't
stop
give them
doing
that.
things? Why did I stop doing certain things? Because I had to pay
you
a price for doing those things.
And you
no,
also
but
seen people pay
when
the
you were a
prices.
kid, you were a boy, and you had to deal with consequences your whole life. The feminism has fed into their delusion, man. This is just what we got now.
Yeah. And Uru, I think in this environment, in this age that we're in right now, it's kind of dangerous to bring the mental health topic up because the mental health topic they use it to essentially scapegoat black, or they use it to get black women off the hook. They really do. When it comes to black men, we never get that argument.
What?
Everything we do is
What?
punishment.
Bro, spoke against the Uru?
Yeah.
What?
Cause think about it. All the medicine they taking Xannies, they taking
Yeah,
Percocet,
so
they
yeah,
taking
yeah.
weed, they drinking that Hennessy, they on the shroom, they medicating, they taking their medicine.
I'm
But
gonna
even
say,
when they go ahead.
I'm gonna say that when it comes to the mental health, I
I
do
think
get what.
I think we have for generations been in an environment that has not been healthy, specifically, especially for females. I think
Mm-hmm.
females or women are much more necessary. It's much more necessary for them to live in a multi-generationally communal environment where they're seeing after each other, they're taking care of each other, they're managing each other, they're curbing each other's misbehavior. And absent that, you get a lot of haywire kind of behavior. Now, we can condemn what we see of them that they do, but that's not going to necessarily address the problem. If in the end we come up with some ultra punitive methodology, that's not going to fix them either. It's not. Okay, so you got a misbehaving dog, you lock the dog up, you punish the dog, you beat the dog. Okay, all right, that's not going to cure the dog. It's not. It's just going to make an even more violent, hateful, destructive dog.
It's time to breed them out of existence. You have to breed them out of existence.
Yeah,
Black men have to stop having babies with these chicks, bro.
but reset the dog thing is a bad analogy because we're humans. We can understand things better than a dog. So you put a person in jail, they know they don't want to go to jail like Jeffrey or like Tawanda. I'm not going to do it.
Did you just watch them two videos? Did you see them two animals?
Well, yeah, I'm so yeah, black. Yeah, all right, yeah, you're right. Uru,
I'm
you
gonna
right. My
say,
bad.
even in those videos, how much did it take for them to go to jail? Though
Thank you.
nobody wanted to take them in. That was definitely not the goal. Was to take them in. The goal was to let them go away. Okay. Now I'm gonna say in the one with the lady with the car, that was the reason to go. Just go in a different direction, man. You know what I'm saying? You just can't go this way. But
Oh my God, that was crazy.
you know what I'm saying? She couldn't allow the reasonable conclusion to be what the conclusion is, for whatever her sake is. But to me, that was the great advice. Just go a different way. Back your vehicle up, go back and park it and figure out another way to work, or simply call off work. Now, I'm not a person that promotes calling off work, but I mean, women do call off work. You're in a situation where you're basically too late to get to work. You might as well tell the people you messed up and deal with it at that particular point. I didn't pay enough attention to instructions around my home, and now I can't get my vehicle out to get out of work. I done messed up. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's just better to apologize. But I'm gonna say this though: when you start looking at it from a mental health aspect, when you're talking to a police officer, and the fact that you would rip that tape down in front of the police officer, and the fact that you would attempt to leave in front of the police officer, that doesn't say sanity. If we're gonna be
No,
real, that's not saying sanity.
no.
She was trying to negotiate her way. She was trying to negotiate her car into the crowd. And when she saw that wasn't work, she said, "The hell with this. I'm not listening to you, nigga. I'm driving anyway." And he
Thank
was
you.
warning her, and he was warning her, and he was warning her, and she still did it. I don't know if that could be a mental issue, but honestly, that is her way of, i.e., fighting the patriarchy. Because he's not going to tell me what to do, even though it has nothing to do with his sex or his gender. It has to do with his authority as a police officer.
Thank
But
you.
they don't care about that,
Yeah,
right?
that was super dangerous. Like kids and people walking and everything that was going on in that situation. That was scary.
And truth teller, you cut the mental illness part out by just saying, yo, she sat there and tried to negotiate.
Yeah.
Mentally ill people don't negotiate.
Now the other girl,
Shakila,
You
the killer, I
you
don't
do
know.
try to negotiate when you don't. You do try to negotiate when you don't clearly see the gravity of the situation you're in.
That
well, I
You
doesn't
know,
wouldn't
mean
call
just
that
you have a
mental
because
illness.
mental.
you are mentally ill, just because you're well, but just because you're mentally ill, that don't mean you can't speak cogently about something. You're just speaking cogently about some shit that's not real.
Well, no. So
You
so
can
what's
speak very
happening?
intelligibly about some shit that don't even exist. I can speak very intelligibly to a damn unicorn that isn't actually there.
That's true. But if it was a case that it was only a mental issue, and her ability to comprehend that he is a person of authority, she wouldn't try to negotiate with him to begin with.
Hmm.
So we can't just land that
Well, look,
situation just
I
on
never
possible mental
said.
illness. The training is really
I
what it
mean,
boils down
again,
to.
with the false. I mean, again, with the false dichotomies, because I never said exclusively or this was just about mental illness. Look, all the time we watch videos of black women misbehave, and we talk about them, and we condemn them, and we condemn their behavior and whatever, and generally for the most part I agree, because I kind of clearly see, okay, well, this person obviously know what they're doing. Like they caught two women trying to shoplift on some shit, and then they tried to pretend like they were going to get
Baby
show
sheets.
some proof of having
That
bought the
was
shit, and they obviously didn't. Well, to me, those were obvious examples of women who were scamming or boosting, as they say, and they got caught. And I didn't see any kind of mental illness there. I just saw some thieves that got caught. But when I see a certain kind of response to situations like this, it 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 I receive it a little bit differently. I saw some people who could have very easily avoided the trouble they got into, and they appear to like grab onto the trouble. They appear to very deliberately and very aggressively invite that level of trouble into their lives. And so when I see that, I'm like, you went from going home from the day to felony charges. I mean, that's
hmm
a lot. That's a big ass leap. That's a huge leap.
Yeah,
And
they
so I
want
have to
smoke.
ask the question, what's on the mind of this female who did that to herself? I have to ask that question.
lack of
Uru,
self
Uru,
control.
Who
coming
who
back
don't
with a
understand?
strong argument. He coming back with a strong argument, goddammit.
And you don't understand the consequences of getting a write up when it's your last write up before they gonna fire your ass.
Yeah. Now the
That
next
last
time
write
you
up.
don't have to work a
Hey,
job for maybe the
how you,
next 3 to 5 years. You won't have to worry about that
she,
signing in for the
she,
next 3 to 5 years.
she, she hadn't even been at the job 2 weeks. How you get a felony before you get your first check? How you do
Well, no,
that?
so
Exactly.
she's the one I
Exactly.
think had a mental issue. I think she did have a mental, because when they strapped her to that chair and she was wilding out, I was like, oh god,
No
yeah,
control. I'm telling you,
yeah,
they like once they lose, it's a lack of self control, and it's how you like how when we like we want a woman that's gonna cooperate with us. They literally go from cooperate to, oh, you trying to find someone that you can control. It
Yeah.
ain't It's just manipulation, and we let them manipulate it. This conversation right here, just trying to justify this whole thing by giving it a mental illness, is the problem in itself.
Well, I mean, I don't think nobody's trying to justify because nobody's saying that they should be
Yeah.
able to get away with this. And I'm gonna say, real talk. Even if a person's mentally ill, sometimes they got to be punished anyway. Now, people that's truly mentally ill, we need to treat them like they're mentally ill, which means you don't get to operate in society. No, that's what I'm gonna say. So to me, the mental ill situation can go very different depending upon what you believe about mental disabilities. Because if you got a mental problem where you know what, maybe that relative got to be under 24-hour care, meaning the relatives got to treat this person like a child. They're not allowed to go out in society by themselves. They're not allowed to operate as you would allow another adult to operate. You only allow them to operate as a child from a family perspective, and you got to deal with them like that. Or the other thing is, we got to lock them up.
Wait, the
If
first
you
part though.
don't, if you can't show the capacity to move in society as a free range adult, maybe the best thing we have for you is to lock you up.
Well, the first option you gave, isn't that how they used to treat women?
If this were in the 1700s, they'd have put her at a stake and they would have burned her at the stake as a witch, acting like that, bro. That's what they would have done.
Yeah, selling witch hunter ass.
Yeah.
You have to understand this the results that we're seeing is something very specific, just like you guys described. But what Roger just described is half of what they want. They don't. They want to have the freedoms to do whatever they want. They just don't want to be responsible for the consequences. So you
Correct.
can't. They don't want to be put in a childlike status, although they want the benefits of being in a childlike status, meaning you're not really responsible for anything. Your parent is, right? There's a few things that you are responsible for and can be held accountable. For the majority of it, your parent is. So then that means all the rules and stuff that have to apply to you has to go through your parent first, i.e., if you're underage and you want to have a job, well, your parents got to sign off. If you want to get a passport and you're underage, your parents got to sign off, right? They don't want that part of it. That's restriction. They want to be, i.e., free, which means I want to get stuff, but I don't want to have to do anything for it. That's what they call freedom, and that's what we're looking at here. This is exaggerated versions of that. If you really want to look at it, they're really acting like kids in all cases, all three cases. They're
Truth teller,
acting like children.
how you gonna curse the police out after they tried to help you, and then when you getting out the car, you gonna tell them to put your coat on for you? They-
Listen, listen, man. You supposed to take care of the kids, women and children first. Remember?
yeah, now I see why the king put Rapunzel in that tower by her damn self.
Ever
Now
wonder why
there's
Rapunzel
something.
was up there? Oh, she was up there because he wanted to take away her freedom. No, Rapunzel was a
Mm-mm.
hoe. He had to protect her. While her hanging out there, so some strange dude could climb up and get in them drawers.
Her hot
That's why.
ass.
That's why.
I
Hmm.
will say that there is something to the whole like adult temper tantrum that goes on. It just kind of gets swept under the rug and kind of considered as just a cultural thing or an acceptable thing, or that's how they are type of thing, instead of actually dealing with the adult temper tantrums that they pull from time to time.
Well, I mean, my thing is that's up to me and about how much we care about the stuff they talking about. Because at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters to me. Uh, my thing is they both did something. Both of them supposed to be locked up. Now, the only question to me is, are we going to lock them up from a mental health standpoint, or are we going to lock them up from a criminal standpoint? But they're getting locked up regardless. You see what I'm saying? That's the only way I see it. I gotta lock them up. It's just why are they getting locked up? Because they both getting locked up. Both of them
Well,
can't control themselves in society based on the behaviors that we're seeing.
the first one for sure is criminal behavior because she's a danger to the community. she's not just a danger to herself. She's a danger to the community. Bro, you gonna drive down the middle of the parade, man? That's
Bro, she said,
crazy.
"Excuse me, man." She said, "Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me, y'all. Get
She
off of her,
did.
man."
She did say, "Excuse me," but
Listen,
I think it's a little more serious than just her saying it. Excuse me. That's just not enough.
Excuse me while I hit these kids. Like,
I will grant you the excuse me was said. I will grant you that. Yeah.
Listen, I don't. I listen. I'm gonna go light on her. I think I'm gonna go light on her because I told y'all, man. I thought I was on board with what she was trying to do until I realized she was talking to a police officer the whole time. I didn't know it was a cop.
But
Straight up.
based on that conversation, you wouldn't expect it to be a cop.
Right.
You actually had to put your mental, your mental detective thing on to even realize this was a cop. It's got to be a cop because I'm seeing body cam footage. You know what I'm saying?
I just thought somebody was. I thought one of the workers of the parade was filming because they want to have some kind of proof. But the way he was talking, he was nice. He wasn't commit because when they talk to us, it sounded a little different. So him talking to her was pleasant and hey, you can't. I apologize. He apologized like 4 or 5 times. I apologize. I had to turn away a bunch of other people too. He was explaining. I'm like, this can't be no cop. Man, they had it draped up, and then I heard his voice. I'm like, this dude was a cop the whole time. She had me on her side, y'all. I was like, why can't they let her go through? She trying to get to work, man. Can I just let her through?
Would they been
Just let her through real quick, man. Just quick. Then I saw her drive up. I saw her drive up the parade, and I was like, wait, what is she doing? And then she just kept driving. I'm like, wait, hold on. It went. I didn't see it go that wrong. I thought that she was just going to turn out and turn the next street so she can get on. And she drove up. I was like, what is she doing? What? I was like, oh, here go the cops. Not realizing the cops been there the whole time.
what you want to bet? Her name is LaQuanda or some shit like that. What you want to bet? I bet $1 to a dime.
The other one name is Shaquilla. Not Tequila, Shaquilla.
Nah, listen, I already asked Brock this. I'm asking the rest of y'all. And I've been telling y'all, you got to throw away these applications with these crazy ass names. I've been telling y'all this.
And gentlemen, the sister in the car, she explained herself. She said they said she hit somebody. She said, I didn't hit nobody, I just came close. She said, no, not a person. She explained herself. She did not hit nobody.
Well,
She just came close.
She was very polite.
Exactly.
She was very polite the entire time.
Could I put a disclaimer up for Don Quavius? Because Don Quavius in his corner office saying, you trying to take away the possibilities of the success of his career. I'm sorry, Don Quavius. He's speaking for himself. He's not speaking for the rest of us. I'm glad you got hired. I'm glad you're an executive. Thank you, Don Quavius.
We gonna grandfather the rest of you people in, but you got to go and get your name changed in the next 365 days in order to remain on staff. But we ain't letting no new niggas in, man. You come up here with one of them nigga names, we gonna hit delete on your application. It's out. You out of here, man.
Now here's the
Shaquilla, she proved it. She ain't been there for 2 weeks. She can't hold it together. All you had to do was go by the name. You wouldn't even have that problem.
No, I'm gonna say, as the host of the Roger Report Live, I would not take that stance at this point. I would not take that stance.
Yeah,
they let her off the hook. Remember, they
one of the best females. One of the best females that ever worked for. Her name was Shaniqua.
Was that a pre-80s Shaniqua or after 80s?
Yeah, I wrote a. No, she was a young woman. She ain't just about 30 now. Just about 30 now. Came from a good 2-parent family and everything. Used to amaze my wife. Now, they named her Shaniqua. Yeah.
You said amaze my wife. I rock with your wife on that one.
Who was like his wife say name? Her name's Shaniqua for real.
Seem like, they don't seem like the type of people that would name their daughter Shaniqua.
Even see, Uru ain't even paying attention. Even his wife.
I even met her parents, spent time with her parents, lovely South suburban Chicago people. And yeah, we were like,
Uru wife say, you sure you're pronouncing that right? You sure it's Shaniqua? You sure it's Shaniqua?
She would say, even now, it's been almost 10 years. Even now, she says,
Oh man.
why they named that child? That child, see? I don't know.
See. Oh, even your wife is following my game plan.
My wife's very snooty. They don't seem like the type. They don't seem like the caliber of, she wouldn't use that term, but that's what she means. They don't seem like the type of people that would name their child Shaniqua.
They must have lost a bet in there somewhere.
This is Uru. Listen to this podcast.
But I mean, look, I think that's generally, unfortunately, well, to me it depends, because there's generations of those names. There's Shaniqua, and then there's Hennessy. And as bad as Shaniqua is, Hennessy, that's a whole other level of ratchetry right there. That's like,
ratchery.
Shaniqua is like first or second generation. Hennessy and Cavassier, that's fourth and fifth generation of ratchet.
And then you know what? You know what they'll turn around and tell their kids? That's what I drank on the night when you was conceived. So that's why we named it.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Yep. And that'd be the reason.
Like they should be proud of that.
That's insane if they telling them that. That's insane.
Listen, man. Listen. I might not be 100%, but I'm accurate enough that I can save your business a lot of problems. Even Miss Uru, Miss Uru
is definitely plus.
This is
I would say it's definitely
advice.
plus 80%. Unfortunately,
there you go.
It's plus 80%.
There you go. Even Miss Uru later on today gonna be like, baby, he right, baby. He's right, baby.
He got a point.
All right. Well, one of them we don't know her name. Did they say her name? They had that
Might
said
be in
name.
the legal documents.
It probably was a regular. Yeah, it probably was a regular name because we don't remember.
Somebody go pull up the documents. Ain't nothing regular about that chick. She drove.
That girl name was.
Now, bro,
That girl name was
parade.
It's Cornisha.
She ran down a parade. Ain't nothing regular about that chick, bro.
Her name could have been Kelly. Her name could have been Kelly. You know,
Kelly's don't.
That's the last. That's definitely not her name.
Y'all find me that second girl with the BMW. I can make her my second wife. Because I just have to get her focused.
I'm telling you, she got a regular name.
If she don't do nothing else, she going to work.
Just need some coaching.
You can't do
She's very attractive. She has some stuff going on.
By hell or high water, she's going to work.
She ain't gonna let nothing stop her. She ain't gonna let nothing stop her from going to work. Not even a parade.
She going to work, boy.
That's a good employee. That's a good employee right there, man.
Not even killing. Not even running down some good white folks out in public.
Look. When they call her and say, why you wasn't at work, she can show them the video. Look, I was doing everything I could to get to work.
But I didn't.
I was doing everything I could to get to work.
Yeah, I didn't make it, but I did.
I kept telling them I gotta get to work.
When she get out, that's what she can put that on her resume when she get out. About 35.
Hey, look. You know I'm gonna get to work. Man.
Yeah, I can't tell you everything, but I'm coming. You best believe that. I'm definitely coming. Okay, maybe I'm a little late, but I'm coming.
But on the mental illness part, I think all women to some degree are predisposed to a certain degree of mental illness, and I think if you spend any time around them. Certainly, if I've raised them into adulthood. I know how easily and how quickly shit can go left to center with any of them. So unfortunately, it's not that I disagree with you all's views of how they've gotten away with shit and how that has definitely made them unmanageable. I'm not disagreeing with that part at all. But that don't totally discount that some fucked up shit going on there, and it's an environment in which it's not being addressed at all in any serious way, because we've gone from either really not addressing it at all, and letting them get away, letting them run amok, which is what we often complain about, or we lock them up, brutalize them, all that shit, which don't fix nothing, because eventually, usually, most times you got to let them out of, you got to let Shaniqua out of jail in 3 to 5, and now she's worse than she was when you put her in there.
Examples have to be made, Uru.
Yeah, I went back to see what the name was too.
Kia.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
He sound disappointed. He sound disappointed, so he can't.
What is it? Come on with it.
You want to tell me, Roger?
Kai Devery Boston.
Come
I ain't
on,
never heard none of that. I mean, I don't know what to do with that.
Come
You know what I'm
on.
saying? Kai Devery Boston.
Come on, man. If you just throw these applications in the trash, I'm gonna save you a lot of problems, man.
I am not gonna co-sign that. I'm not gonna co-sign that.
You clowning.
You're not. Unfortunately, these days you're not hiring a lot of black folks when you institute that policy.
Yeah, I can't co-sign that one, man. I can't.
I'm putting Miss Uru head of my HR department.
Listen, she gonna be pulling people aside. She gonna be pulling people aside.
She loves that girl. She loves that girl, but she always just would shake her head and say,
that's how she gonna be pulling people in the office. She gonna be like, you know what? You tell her you're not in trouble or anything. I don't understand why your name is Shaniqua. You don't come off as Shaniqua to me.
She don't. And she does not act like a Shaniqua.
Yeah.
She does not act like Shaniqua. She would not. But she was very proud of her name. She was very proud of her name. For some reason, her daddy, I guess, named that a name for some reason, some amazing reason. So she was very proud of that name, and she didn't want to be called nothing else but Shaniqua. So
she was gonna bring them back.
That.
Like it's the fourth quarter of the game. She gonna bring the Shaniquas back. You know?
Wait,
now
Roger. Her name was Kia.
The
car. Kia Deborah Bostic.
Oh, that what you heard?
No, that's what I read. Deborah got an A at the back of it.
Okay, well, I did listen to them say the name. So I didn't see it written down. But if you saw it written down, that's better information. I'm gonna say shout out to Afro Merchant who's asking how do you spell that, Roger? Because I didn't know. I was gonna say you better ask Trail Billy because I didn't know. But Kia ain't. Her name is Kia, like the car.
Yes, 28 years old. So the Kia was out 28 years ago.
Yeah.
That was
first car. For some reason they love that Kia. For some reason they love it. Is that it? That's their mama's first car. That's why they all named Kia. They love that name.
Easy to steal.
Mom was one of the first people to buy a Kia. That's what it is. Kia before Kia was hot in the streets.
And I love my friend Lexus. Lexus be getting down. Lexus be doing some stuff for me.
Why didn't any of them name their daughters? Why didn't any of them name their daughters Ultima?
Okay, so here's the rule. Here's the
I haven't
rule.
seen that one yet.
If she named after an alcohol, a vehicle, or her mother and father's name mixed together, don't hire her. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's the rule. That's the rule. I'm telling you, you save yourself a lot of problems. I witnessed a young man, 16 years old, make a request to have his name changed. He goes before the judge. Judge asks this young man, "What would you like your new name to be?" Because he had a fucked up name. He said, "I like my name to be Martin." And the judge said, "Martin, are you sure?" He said, "Is that not a good name?" The judge said, "That's a very good name." Nigga, that brought a tear to my eye. That nigga understood at 16 his parents doomed him to fail. And he fixed it.
You
Just
say
for
you
the
changed
sake of
his name to Martin? You say you changed his name to Martin?
Hey,
Oh
hey,
wow.
reset. When you talk, man, it seems like you have a long history with lawyers, cops, all kind of white supremacists, man.
I grew up in some
Oh
of the
wow.
worst
Hold on.
neighborhoods.
What you accusing
I
me
grew up
of?
Hey, I grew up in some of the worst neighborhoods in Florida. I saw it all. I saw it all, bro. And I was like, no, I don't want none of this as an adult. None of it.
What you say? This is the what you say, Bronk? This is the Ruckus origin story. Is that it? The Ruckus Little origin story?
Oh.
That nigga guilty. Let's hang him. I got the rope right
All right, well, I'm
here.
gonna say
I'll forgive
Kia
some.
and was it Keela and Shaquilla ain't putting up good numbers today. They not doing good numbers today. I
Man,
didn't even pay attention to these names,
nah.
but it's just the stories that I caught. It's just the stories. But Jado is coming up, so we got a better name. Okay, we got a better name. Jado is coming up, and we're gonna let Jado get the mic. Okay, Jado, you got it, my brother.
All right, what's going on, gentlemen? Salute to the chat, salute to the replay gang. Yeah, I caught probably the last, yes, maybe 30 minutes of the show, whatever. Just thought I'd add my 2 cents. And just I'm speaking personally. You know what I mean? When I observe these videos you play, Roger, just with my middle daughter, she called me out the blue one day. And fellas, when I come up here talking, man, I don't be just talking out my butt, man. I'm talking about stuff I actually lived and looked at and experienced and observed, man. But my middle daughter called me and said she was she was kind of crying and yelling and stuff, saying, "Daddy, I want to come live with you. Daddy, I want to come live with you. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them." She was referring to her other sisters and her mother, right? and and I was like, and I knew something was wrong, man, because I run a strict program. As a father, I run a strict program, and she's not used to that because she's been with her mother mostly or whatever. And so I did a little investigating. I called her older sister. I called her mother, and she basically threw a fit, man. She went into a fit of rage over a minor. Minor disagreement. But I guess it was something that had been building up. And this is something that I never experienced with her. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact that when they don't have that consistent authority figure, meaning a man, their daddy, around them to monitor them, direct them, discipline them in a loving manner, any of them can go off the rails just like this. Any of them.
Thank you.
Any of them.
Thank you.
There you
So
go.
I just wanted to put that. So it's a spectrum. When you guys were talking about the mental health aspect, it's a spectrum, man. So it can go over. They can cross over from being perfectly functional and rational to being mentally ill, possibly. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. I thought those were interesting videos, man. That's all I have. Thanks.
Well,
I
and
appreciate that.
I'm glad you came up, and I don't think it's a coincidence that, like myself, Jado's actually raised daughters. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think if you observe them, especially from 0 to, in my case, what, 34, 35 now, you know how quickly shit can go bad. Shit can go left with any of them.
Yes.
With any of them. I went through a period of time
Yeah.
with my oldest daughter. I love her to death. Love her, as much as anything I've ever loved. And I went through a period of 4 or 5 months where I didn't talk with her. And it took my mother, after my wife was begging and pleading and crying, it took my mother to say, okay, now, son, you've taken this too far. They calling me crying now. So I mean, they all capable of just spiraling out of control and into some madness. And it takes an
Yeah.
infrastructure of family and support and women and whatever to just kind of keep that level of cohesion. Like you seeing all this stuff on TikTok, a lot of it is spiraling out of control. They're all alone. They're all by themselves doing shit, making decisions that they're really not designed to make. And society say that they supposed to make them by themselves because they're supposedly independent and smart and capable of doing shit that they're really not built and designed to do. And so when shit go really crazy with any of them, I'm not really that surprised. I'm not removing their responsibility. Unfortunately, society has made them responsible for shit, in my view, that they weren't designed to be responsible for. In my view,
Nah,
not on their
nah,
own, not by themselves.
I can get with that, Uru. These are the children. This is really the second and third generation of uncovered women. This is
Yeah.
this is that I'm strong, independent. I don't need no man. This is Section 8. This is Section 8. This is the government removing accountability from them and allowing them to run amok for a very, very long time. These the WIC babies. These the food stamp babies. And now the rug has been removed from underneath them. And they're out there fending for
Yeah.
themselves. And like the Uru saying, see, you ain't built to work all these hours. You ain't built to do what's necessary
No.
to put a roof over your head and over your children's head by yourself as an adult. You're not built for that. You're trying to do what men have been doing for millennia. And they're cracking under the economic pressure. They're cracking under the social pressure of trying to be men. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But I think it's a self-inflicted wound. I think it's a self-inflicted wound of who gonna check me, boo, and I'm strong, independent, and don't need no man.
Yeah, a lot of it is self-inflicted. If you just look at the media, like they're being programmed constantly, man. In school, media, they're being programmed constantly. And Roger, you say it all the time. I'm going to repeat it. Your subconscious rules you. So sometimes if you're not consciously doing it, you're being programmed. And I just want to speak on my daughters. Hey, man, they're very well behaved. Great. If you guys ever met them, you'd be like, wow, these are great kids. But as far as my middle one, my middle one, they say about the middle child, but she's kind of what they say
Oh yeah.
spicy or whatever.
Ooh.
But
Man,
and
we know you. We know you ain't Bronx. We know you ain't Bronx. You ain't got to explain.
and I've spoke with her oldest sister and her mother, and they always say, what they consistently say is she's nowhere near that when you're around. Whenever I come around, she does not do any of it.
Okay,
Yep.
different ball game.
They
Different
say
ball
the
game.
same thing. They say the same thing
That is.
about me. They say the same thing about me. A lot of shit I didn't even know happened until 10, 15 years after the shit happened.
Yeah,
A lot of shit they
exactly.
did not bring around me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is good they know how to act right when you're around. That is a good thing at the end of the day. Even though I'm not saying they should not act right when you're not around,
Like
but it is a good thing they do
when
act
that girl when that girl said asked for her father, I think she was asking for her emotional regulator.
Yes,
That's what
100%.
I sense. That's what I sense. That she the strength of her father, the presence of her father probably would have calmed her down.
And
Probably
fellas,
would have
when
calmed her
we're
down.
it's not much. And we've talked about this before on the show. There's not much difference between a adolescent, teenage girl, still a minor, and a grown woman. It's not much. It's not. I'm talking emotionally. Emotionally, let me say that. I don't think it's probably not
Well,
any
you know,
difference, to be honest.
at least that none of them age
And
mature
an
past
adult
14
woman.
years old,
That's right.
and I think that's true.
That's right.
Emotionally, I think that's true.
So they're supposed to be covered, fellas. When
That's right.
as the dad, when you marry that woman, you take over as the father figure.
Mm-hmm. You become her emotional stability.
Yes.
You become her rock. You become this thing that, okay, now I can calm. He's here now. I can calm down. I've seen it with my wife. I've seen it with my daughters. Hell, I've even seen it with my own mother at some point. But he here now. I can calm down.
Yeah, but the unfortunate part is the only way to turn it over to your husband, you first gotta have one. That's the
That's
unfortunate
true.
part.
That's true.
and,
That's true. You can't get around that part. Can't get around that part of the formula. Nope.
Not at all.
Can't get around that part of the formula.
yeah, and I
No
definitely
doubt about
agree.
it.
Yeah, women gonna do some suffering because at the end of the day, they got problems that they can't tell their husband. Which is, social media, I believe, is part of a coping mechanism for a lot of them because they bring it to social media because they can't bring it to their husband.
Yep.
The unfortunate
You know
part is
what's
that
the
social
best
media don't
thing
fix
that a woman can have, a working woman can have, is a man that allows him to be able to quit a job. When a woman can quit a job, it makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world mentally and emotionally stability. Sometimes they're the most productive people on the job because in the end, when shit gets crazy, I can walk the hell on up out of here.
I can agree with that. And I do believe that's what most black men want for their woman is, get with me and then you work if you want to. You don't necessarily have to. We ain't gonna depend on it like that.
Right.
And when you quit, we'll make a job. Because I've never heard of a man throw his woman out for quitting the job. I ain't never heard of.
No.
The only thing I've
Yes,
heard is
yes.
that
Nope.
some women quit without letting the husband know. Or, it came all of a sudden and he had to make some quick adjustments. But
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of a black man really have
I
a problem with
I
her
told
not
you to
working.
tell me. Most time brothers say, okay, give me some lead. Give
Right.
me some lead time so I can set shit up. So but okay. But usually they say, well, okay, we'll make it work. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody mentioned this earlier, man, about the woman that was driving through the festival, block party, whatever it was. When they laid her, they laid her on her back, or she was on her back. I'll say that. Y'all saw those two antennas pointing up, man. There was no bra on, man.
Yeah, she was a little excited, I guess. She was a little excited. I did notice that. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? I did notice that. So now my thing is I don't know why she was excited. Now it could have just been that's just the way it is with her, but then it could have been these white men are manhandling me, and now I'm excited about it. No, I mean,
Well,
bro, you never know how stuff going on
look.
people's head.
We've heard of women having orgasms during assault. So
Yeah, they like to
it's
be. They
not.
like to be.
Hey man,
They like to be dominated.
it's not. Yeah, I mean it's not a straight line with them in terms of excitement. There's a lot of shit that can get them going that would
It,
offend men.
it deviates quite a bit, huh? Uru? It deviates quite a bit.
Yeah, all kinds of shit can get them going. All kinds of stuff. So no, that part don't surprise me at all.
And I'm gonna say, according to that body cam, it was a few white people there. It wasn't really no black guys there. I mean, one black guy came up to say, the story about what happened earlier with the guy, but it was a bunch of white guys. So I understood it. You know what I'm saying? Because the guy who the POV camera obviously was a white guy, and then you look at the people that was holding and touching her, white men. So I thought she was just where she wanted to be. It was just that other white guy told her to be to work on time, so she had to honor that.
That's the whole reason, Roger, that she did that in the first place. She wanted to be manhandled by white men.
Well, I mean, I'm never gonna say
that was the whole plan.
Well, like I've said before, and I guess it's a good time to say it again, since that video got deleted. A lot of black women cherish going to work because that's their time to be exposed to white men. And that's something black men don't really consider, but that's when they get to hang out with white men.
Yeah, that's true.
They live in black neighborhood
and boss, not just hang out with them, get bossed around by them, flirt with them, and all kinds of little naughty business.
Yeah. The job is their access to being in white males' company. So we may not really consider how it is, but I'm looking at this video today. Now, when a woman says she don't want to work, I'm just saying, if y'all look at these two videos, how these women they want to be a part of that system. And then, like I say, for that one young lady to even start counting money and everything, and she already clocked out, like I don't even understand that. You gonna do that for free?
Now that's where I don't know how y'all can argue with me about that girl being mentally ill, because that was not a normal response.
I don't know. Oh, I might have to. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Well, when
you ever told a child to do something and they drag their feet doing
that's
it?
exactly what she was doing.
That's what she was doing.
And
it's like until they get a spanking, they drag their feet.
Yes, you got to do something. And then look, hey, this is an old school term, man. When you call cops a pig, man, is that still like a current term for the young people?
Nah, we don't.
So she's been hearing like
So she called the cop a pig.
Mm-hmm.
So now who does that?
She's just being defiant.
Do that
exactly. I think she just wanted to be defiant in that moment. She's just saying, I'm not gonna let y'all have the last word. I'm gonna do it when I want to do it. Just like GBR just said. I think.
Bro, she spent that whole time basically doing the old school make me do it.
Mm-hmm.
Make me.
All I'm saying is, even if she's just dragging her feet, the fact that she will work for free, I find extremely disappointing. The last thing a black person should be doing, especially because I don't know her personal situation, but if your background got some slavery in it and you willing to work for these white people for free, I'm disappointed in you. That's all I'm saying. I'm disappointed in you. Okay? The only way you work for free is you trying to get the job. If you trying to show them, look, no, I deserve this job. I understand that. But other than that, no, I ain't doing nothing for you free. I would have went home and they'd asked about my job.
I do have to. Now, this is assuming if things were presented truthfully on her part. I do have to give 20%, maybe 25% of the blame to the fucking manager or whatever who didn't tell her that it was a new guy coming in, the manager. I do have to give part of the blame to that.
That's
reasonable. Who does that shit?
Yeah. She showed up. She was like, "Who is this light skinned Negro?"
But that's kind of how like single mothers deal with their children. They don't deal with them directly. You know what I mean? Like she wanted to
Right.
avoid the. She didn't
No,
want to.
whoever did that was some punk motherfuckers. They had said something about her being difficult or whatever, and they were
But it
scared to
was a.
deal with her in
But it was
a forthright way.
But it was a chick though.
It was Dawn. That was her
Yes,
name.
exactly.
Dawn. Dawn did that.
Well,
She
whatever.
really shouldn't even be in that position, to
Male
be
or
honest with you.
female. Yeah. You shouldn't be in that position doing some shit like that.
Now,
Especially if you already know she's difficult. If you
Yes.
already know she's difficult and you
She
elect to
pa-
keep it at anyway, and then to just have somebody walk on up in there telling her what to do and she don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
she kind of created that situation.
She
Her
passed the
ass should
buck
be
on to
fired
that
too.
dude. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, well, y'all, this is the end of the show because we only got 30 more seconds of regulation time. So I'm going to say it's a good and interesting subject. I'm going to say it's criminal or mental. I think we need to lock them up. That's the way I'm going to see it. You know, you can figure out if you want to do it in a more criminal way or more mental way. But to me, both of them deserve to be locked up. And I'm going to say shout out to that little girl who's drinking them Cokes because she wasn't a part of the story. Just something to laugh at. But I'm going to say shout out to her imagination, man. To her imagination because she's still out here playing. She got her youthful spirit. So it's all good. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Thank you for the panelists that joined. And if y'all are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And we do this at 9 a.m. Chicago time, not where you happen to be. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.